Prior to joining RBS, he worked as an associate professor at Montpellier Business School, Montpellier, France. He has also served at ICFI Business School, Hyderabad, IFHE University, Hyderabad, as an assistant professor before joining MBS, France. He received his PhD in Management Economics from ICFI University, Tripura, from where he also completed his MPhil. He received his graduate and postgraduate degrees in economics from Lucknow University. His research tends to cross the boundaries of narrowly defined fields as he constantly looks for promising ideas from several perspectives. The majority of his work contributes to the areas of energy economics, environmental economics, international trade, international economics, commodity markets, resources market, tourism, FDI, institutional quality, governance, and many more. He has published about 250 research articles in Scopus Index journals, including Financial Times 45 list, such as Tourism Management, Journal of Business Ethics, Energy Economics, Energy Politics, Resources Policy, and many more. He is also actively engaged as editors and guest editors at different positions at several international journals indexed in Scopus and ranked by ABDC, published by Wiley, Elsewhere, Emerald, Sage, Springer, Taylor and Francis, World Scientific, InterScience, and MDPI. Specifically, he is a senior editor of International Journal of Emerging Markets, Emerald, regional editor, Southeast Asia, Journal of Public Affairs, Wiley, topic editor, Journal of Risk and Financial Management, section editors, IJEEP, IJEFI, Eco Journal, associate editor of Review of Pacific Basin Financial Markets and Policies, World Scientific, Conjunct Economics and Finance, Taylor and Francis, IIM Kozhikode Society and Management Review, SAGE, European Journal of Management and Business Economics, Emerald, Journal of Economic and Administrative Sciences, and many more. He is also an ambassador, regional chief leader of Actual Problems of Economics and Scopus Index journals. I now request Sir to please begin with his session.
Thank you, Anchal Singh, madam, for a very nice introduction. So, I will talk about as I am author. I have published papers. I am also a reviewer. Reviewed many articles and review around 4 to 5 articles each month. And of course, handling editors in several journals. So I will be talking about my perspectives from different, putting me as author, researcher, and editor. Right. So I hope my experience will be helpful to the participants or whoever is interested in doing research. So let's begin with, and I hope it will be interactive session. So any questions, if you have, you can put in the chat box. So at the end of the session, we can answer your queries. More questions will be welcomed because this is the problem that we'll be facing. So I would like to have more questions from the participants so that we could discuss. Okay. So can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see the screen.
Okay. So this is what we'll be doing. However, before we begin, this is a normal disclaimer that we would like to say. This is again based on my own experience. It has nothing to do with the institution I belong, with the journals I am handling. Right, my own experience. This may vary from the journal to journal. It is not uniform or applicable in all journals because each editor thinks differently. So you have to keep those things in mind before taking my suggestions. But there are few common suggestions which applies, you can say, universally. So we'll begin with the editor's perspective. I will explain first the process of getting your paper published. Before we do so, I will let you know some simple things. Okay, I am more open, so I will tell the more honest view on this process of publication. You know, each journal receives maybe 7 to 800 to even 1,500 or 2,000 submissions, depending upon quality of the journal or whoever is publisher or things like that, or their indexing, impact factor, and so many things. Uh, except except elsewhere journals where each issue is having maybe more than 50 articles. All other publishers, you may take Emerald, you may take Valley, you may take Indus Science, you may take Sage, you may take any other. Okay. They can publish maximum 12 issues, and each issue will have approximately 10 papers, maybe 8, maybe 5. It doesn't cross normally more than 10 papers in each issue. So, not every journal is monthly in all these other except elsewhere journals. So, if even if we take monthly, 12 months, 10 papers maximum I am putting. So, 120 papers per year. Okay, we can publish as editor or publisher. Now, assume that we are getting around 1,000 submissions. Okay, I'm putting just 1,000. It may be more, it may be little less. If we keep 1,000, you see, it is about 10% papers that we can publish. So rejection means 90% papers will be rejected. It may be so that we reject 80%, and in some year we may reject 95% papers, depending upon the quality of the submissions. But in general, we want to keep some backlog so that in case in some year we don't get some papers, so we don't run sort of having good quality of papers which can be accommodated or published in a issue. Okay, so our issue is not blank. This is what as editor wants. Okay, assuming this is true, and assuming that this is what we want. Now, if we increase this likelihood of getting paper published, okay, uh, now you think that we want to increase. Normally, B and C journals will have high acceptance rate. A and A star will have low acceptance rate, because those journals they get very huge submissions and they can publish less. So that is where you might have seen the targeting B and C journals might be easy, or getting paper published in these journals is easy as compared to A and A star. This is the reason. Now, when we have, it's simple like when we apply job, there is only one vacancy. If so many people are applying for a particular job, only one can be selected, rest all will be rejected. So it can be at different phases. Same thing happens in the this paper publications case as well. So when a paper is submitted, we know that maybe say about 20 to 25%. Okay, this is from some journal that we are providing information. Here we are assuming around 20 to 25% acceptance rate. It can vary. The percentage can change from journal to journal. This is just approximate percentage. I would like to make you to understand that even if your paper gets rejected by some or other reason, so you don't feel anything bad about it unless there are some comments which can really help to improve your paper. But yes, some papers are rejected just by saying that uh, we have already received enough submissions in this year, and your paper is lengthy and we cannot accommodate your paper, this and that, and things like that, for which you will feel little hurted, that there is no comment and editor has just rejected paper. But the reason, as I told you, because they can accept only few papers to publish, and then they look for the quality of the manuscripts, and they have to reject each year some paper, so they have to reject. I hope you are getting my point. So assume that in a journal we receive 100 papers. Okay, in 100 papers, uh, about 25 or 24, here it is said, will be desk rejected. Why desk rejections? We will talk it little bit later. But about 25% papers will be desk rejected. Okay. Again, this number can go higher depending upon the journal. In 100, again 28 to 30% papers will be sent back to the authors to revise from the editors only. Okay, it is not went to the referees. Editors will have some concern where he feels that there is a quality in the paper and it can go to the referees. But uh, if it goes in the present form, it is likely that it will be rejected. So editor will give some of his concerns, opinions, so that if authors improves on those areas, maybe their paper can get accepted. So there is a likelihood that your paper has a chance to get final acceptance. And but editors are not very sure, so that is where they give you some suggestions to improve your paper and resubmit it. Or it may be paper is too lengthy, so editors wants to reduce it, or maybe you are focusing on so many areas or dimensions, so editor says no, you have to focus or strictly talk about one particular aspect, so that you don't lose focus and things like that, whatever may be the reason. But it is about 25, again 25 to 30% cases, and rest, see, 20 to 25 to 30% is revised decision from the editor. Again 25 to 30% papers will be desk rejected from the editor. So remaining about 50% or maybe 45% papers will be sent out to the normal review process. Okay, so if the paper is rejected from the editor's desk, it cannot be resubmitted even after improvements. That is gone case. Papers which get chance to revise and resubmit from the editor's desk, there are few authors who will feel uh, why to incorporate this comment, let us try, we don't have time, let's try and submit it to some other journal. So that cases may be 10% or maybe little more or little less, 5 to 15% you can put. But some people, some researchers, they don't want to rework on it. They say we don't know even if we rework what referee will feel. So what they will do is they will withdraw. They will say we don't want to revise, and they don't want to revise and work on the editor's comments and suggestions, so they withdraw their paper. Okay. Next is when it goes uh, to the when authors revise and resubmit, it can be sent out to the review. Then what happens? Again, About assuming that this percentage remains same, 66% in total will be sent to the referees, and then about 30% of 66% papers will be rejected from the referee side, and 37 to 35 or 30% papers will get revision. Again, sometimes referee will ask to update the data for which you don't have subscription or access to. So maybe revision is difficult, so you will withdraw. Or maybe it is too much time consuming, and again, you don't have time to revise in that the period that is given by the editor. Sometimes you ask the extension. So editors will give extension, and sometimes they won't give extension, things like that. And then you get about 5 to 10% withdrawals in the revision stage. And then whoever submits the revised version, it will be sent out again to the review process. In second time review process, uh, some papers will be accepted by the referees depending upon whether it was minor or major revision. Others, some papers will be rejected by the referee if they feel that your revision was not enough or justified. In some journals, they follow up to 3 times and even 4 times revision, and sometimes editors, they are not happy even if referees accepts, okay, their paper. Referee accepts the paper, but editor is not comfortable, or he doesn't feel that your paper is uh, having enough quality. So editor may reject even if referee is accepting your paper. So these are several cases that may happen. That is what has to be done. Okay. This is normal process of referee, means a paper getting published. Now we will see what happens when we submit the paper. As we talked about desk rejection of 20 to 25% papers or 30% papers. Desk rejection may happen due to several reasons which are listed here. One is aim and scope. Sometimes we are so much in hurry, we don't see what is the journal's requirement, what in which area journal is looking at. Okay. And then we submit the paper, and editor says your paper is out of scope. It doesn't match with the aim of the journal, so it gets rejected. Okay, that is one simple reason. Second, these days similarity, which you may call it plagiarism, but editors won't call it plagiarism. It is a similarity. So there is one software which is universally accepted by all publishers and editors, that is called Authenticate, or we can call it Turnitin. Okay. So in most of the journals for empirical research papers, about 18%. Okay. 18% is the benchmark. If your paper is having similarity index of 18%, it is likely it can go to review process. Uh, if it is more than 18%, it will be desk rejected. Again, in 18% also, from single source, okay, from single source, normally it should not be more than 3%. If it is more than 3%, again editor will reject. So it is not just the overall similarity index, but you need to see from the single source it should not be more than 3%. In other uh, in other terms, you can say you should not be pasting just for example single para from one source, and then it is a maybe having index of say 1%. So complete one para is also not accepted, okay, or 4 or 5 lines, even if that index is 1%. So those things you need to keep in mind when you submit the paper. Conflict of interest, it has happened to some of us. uh, miss uh, in the journals where I am handling. Sometimes when we made a paper, we all co-authors were very much happy, and then because of some or other reasons, we don't like some of my colleague who is the author in the paper, and then I decided to take a call on submission without even informing or giving consent that which journal I am submitting. But other author is not feeling happy about that journal, and if he's not approving that submission, it can get, your paper can get rejected. And next is, if everything is good, good fit. Editors also see the good fit in terms of overall quality, whether you have used appropriate theories, you have explained theories properly to justify your model, you have developed your model correctly or not. The level of rigor means whether you are using simple OLS, it is not that only simple OLS with that paper you cannot make a paper, you can make paper, but then you need to see whether the assumptions on which OLS is based, you have tested them proper. So rigor is simply that whatever is possible for you to do, okay, with that kind of data, with kind of model that you are estimating, with kind of theory that you are working on, have you done that? And the relevance we all know, whether any topic that has got current relevance or not. If there is no relevance for today, then there is no point of publishing that paper, because it is not going to help the journal. Okay, each editor is also concerned about the journal as well, because if paper is published, no one is reading, no one is citing, then the impact factor will not increase. And of course, publishers are more concerned about the sales. That is where you might know tomorrow there is hearing in Supreme Court about Sci-Hub. Okay, because Sci-Hub is providing access to all journals, and uh, all other publishers, Willy, Sage, and elsewhere and all, they are losing revenue. So for publishers, revenue is the most priority, and they can increase revenue if people are reading that paper. They are you are buying their paper, you are subscribing that journal and all. So that will happen when they publish a quality paper which has got relevance, right? And then acceptance rate, even if paper everything is good, but we have low acceptance rate, so eventually we can publish only few papers. That is just like in kind of job, when there is only one vacancy, even if there are two potential candidates, we can hire only one, not two, right? So one has to be rejected. For rejection, editor will find some reason. That reason may not be justified, you may not feel good, but this is what it is. And last one is journal's guideline. A few years back, it was the most important thing. Even today, some journals are very much strict on it, whether you have followed their referencing style or the structure, article structure mentioned in their website or not. So some editors are very much particular about it, but some journals and some editors, they ask you to submit your paper in free format. Free format doesn't mean that anything you write in any format, like something is in italic, something is Times Roman, something is some other font, and then some reference in APA, some reference in Chicago, and some reference in some other format. Okay, so no, free format is, your paper should have normal structure of a research paper. It should have headings, normal headings, and referencing style should be a common, whatever it may be. It may be MLA, Chicago, or whatever. Okay, so you need to follow one single style. It may not be the style that journal follows. That is okay. Okay, but it should look like a proper research paper at least. Now uh, we'll talk about our goal as editor and publishers. As we already talked, uh, we as editor like to enhance the integrity and reputation. Because, for example, we are the editors. If journal is not reputed, papers, good quality papers are not published. And if there is a bias, like there are few authors are only publishing, others are not getting scope, and some people who has got relationship with the editors, only those people are publishing and all. So over a period of time, or there is any other unethical practices which is known to the research community. Research community is not very big. It is only few lakhs people. Okay. So if uh, there is any problem, it will be known to everyone, and then that the journal will lose the value. Okay. And if journal loses value, it means editor will lose, even it may lose the position itself. There are some cases that happened about 3 to 4 years back when some authors somehow cheated the publisher or the editor by doing some malpractices. I don't want to talk on it, but because of that, publisher had removed the editors in chief and some other editors, and then other editors were appointed. So this is very much concern for editors, publishers, that we need to maintain the integrity so that journal is reputed, it is well recognized by the academic community. Okay. And then next is, as we know, aim and scope is the main criteria. So any paper which is not fitting in the aim and scope, or which is outside the mainstream of the focus of the journal, cannot be published. Uh, this focus, even if sometimes what happens, I'm telling again my experience as an author. I saw one paper was published about a year ago. Almost similar paper on, maybe on similar idea. I made a paper and tried to submit to same journal, but then editor rejected it, saying that from this year they had changed their focus, which was not there in website. So that also can happen, and it is common. Because when we are receiving on a particular aim so many submissions, then we have to again be very sub specific. We have to be very specific on a particular theme. Okay. Depending upon, and that theme will be decided by the editor in chief on which they want to focus. So that can be internal concern by the editors, but this is what uh, it happens. Okay. Then next is, as editor and publisher, we want to look for the ideas which has got future, like some ideas, some papers which may be relevant today but may not be relevant tomorrow. uh, Authors will get more citations if any idea, any topic which can have long lasting relevance. Okay. Or any idea which is generating a debate among the researchers. So there will be many papers coming out for citing that paper. Okay. So this is what that editor is looking at it. That is where a last section is introduced in the research paper, where we talk about future research direction. Okay. So future research directions, many people will say this author, okay, said that this is the area where we can work in the future. So we are following their suggestion and we are extending their work in this direction. That is how you get citation, and this is how editors will be feeling happy that your suggestion of the future research direction is being incorporated. Okay. And last, as I said, increasing the citation is another important, because impact factor, in India and in other countries are being considered for their promotion, and then increased citation is also indicator for good quality of journal and all. So this is again important thing. Okay. uh, Again, some simple suggestions. So what do we want as editor? We want you to follow general guidelines, but not necessarily depending upon again the general. We want that paper should have originality, sometimes you when we write a paper, we don't uh, we are not able to highlight those portions, we are not able to write clearly those portions, so that authors so that editors or referees are able to see how we are contributing. Okay, so that originality is nothing but the contribution to the theory or to the research field or to the practice. Okay, and then clarity of message, so that has to be very clear, it has to be very specific. You don't this is not novel. Okay, where you talk a single line in 10 paragraphs, you have to give your message very clear. If you are talking like a novel, then your paper is not going to get accepted. We also look at the structure of the paper, that is simple thing. Flow and tone is nothing but the connect of each para. Okay, the first para should be connected to the second, and second to be third with the third, and so on and so forth. So this is very much important, you have to keep in mind. Now research methodology, it's important question. It can be different from the different type of research that you are doing. If you are doing empirical research in say in marketing, or in economics, or in finance, or in HR and OB, so this part can have a different thing. But in general, if you want to say, I would say the rigorous research methodology will always dominate. Recently I saw some papers published in psychology journals, top psychology journals. They are using machine learning. Machine learning is simply uh, like operations concept. Some papers in economics and finance are also published in machine using machine learning approaches. But in HR, you can't imagine, right? So this is where, and that paper, those people who were expert in the psychology field, they said this paper has nothing but only thing using advanced research methodology. So advanced research methodology also plays important role. Now I will give one example uh, to make you understand. I hope you may be knowing the correlation. Okay, and then you must have studied the regression as well. So whenever a teacher who is teaching you about regression, he will be talking about the disadvantages of correlation and why regression is better over correlation. So this is the improvement from the correlation to regression, right? Same way, the new methods that has come up, it can be anything. Okay, that is improving over the traditional methods. So using the advanced methods, there may be several advantages. Okay, so advanced method is always liked by the research, by the academic community, by the researchers, by the editors, and by the referees, because your findings can be much more robust, much more reliable than using, say for example, simple correlation as compared to the regression method. And then theoretical and practical implications, sometimes you don't write this section particularly, but this section is very much important. Without these implications, your paper has no meaning. Okay, another important thing I would like to talk on it. uh, Sometimes what happens, you give only like implications. Okay, uh, but implications may not be practical. Okay, depending upon if you are building a theoretical model, then it will be a theoretical implication. And in some journals, say for example, all emerald journals, they have separate section itself. They will talk about the relevance, okay, or the implications part. So there you need to specifically write a paragraph on the implication in the abstract itself, so that message very clear. But it is always advisable for you to have a single heading, okay, or maybe subheading when we talk about conclusions, or when we talk about results discussion. then we can have implication sections as well. Good title and abstract. Uh, Good title and abstract. What I would suggest here is some titles, I don't know if you might have seen, some titles are very appealing. When you see that title, you at least you want to see the paper, right? You like to open the paper, see the paper, what has been done in that paper, or at least read the paper. So that creates download of the that article. Okay, that increases the download of your article, which is again good for the publisher. Okay, if title is not good, no one is interested, or you are talking some simple like theoretical things, okay, then people are not interested. They will think, okay, some traditional work has been done. So if by any chance you can make your title eye catching, that will be very good. But it should be again within the framework of the title itself. That will discuss when we talk about how to design research papers and all. Okay. Abstract, we know what should be there in the abstract. So that also we'll talk bit later. Okay. Now, what happens? There are some frequently asked questions. We are talking about it. Okay, I will give the answer. For example, time for review, it varies from the journal to journal. In most of the journals these days, we are giving referees 1 month a time. Okay, but what happens? Like 15 days time is to accept the review. So if you don't accept the review, or anyone doesn't accept to review a particular paper, then we have to invite another referee, and this is where the delay comes. Okay, or someone is rejecting, he doesn't want to accept review, but he is rejecting after 15 days. So again we have to search another referee. So that takes time, and then this is where review time increases. So it may be maybe 2 to 3 months, or maybe 4 months, depending upon again the journal, but mostly it is 2 to 3 months, during which referee has to submit their suggestions or comments or whatever recommendation. Review quality is another important criteria by the which on which we look at it. As editors we look at it, and publishers are also looking at it. When a paper you receive, it is not that all papers are means that you are reviewing everything is good. There will be some scope to improve the paper. If any paper is good, you need to find what ways that paper can be improved. You should not say a single line statement and then submit the review. It may be, you may say a paper is say there a lot of research has been done in this particular topic, so this paper doesn't contribute anything. It means you have not read the contribution section. Okay, and then you reject the paper. You need to read, you need to talk about some positive and negative sides of the paper and all, and then see what ways paper can be improved. And still if you are unhappy, you can reject the paper. So quality of review is very much important. When we talk about revert decisions, as I already said previously, sometimes what happens, normally there are two referees process. So one referee, if both referees are accepting or giving a revision chance, you get a revision. If one referee accepts, gives a revision chance, another referee rejects, depending upon the quality of the reviews. Okay, editor may give rejection decision or revision decision. In case both referees reject the paper, of course, editors will reject the paper. But sometimes what happens, when one referee rejects the paper, another referee gives a minor revision or major revision. In that case, sometimes when paper is outside the editor's field, okay, it sometimes happens that when I am not expert in a particular field, but I am handling that paper. So I am not very sure whether to give revision or to reject the paper. So I invite another expert, third referee, who is expert in that particular field, and then we seek his opinion. And then whatever suggestion of the third referee, if he or she accepts or rejects, we accept or reject the paper. Okay. That is how. Time for the revision of the manuscript in most of the journals, depending upon minor to major, it is 1 month to 6 months. For some stars, they will give you 4 to 6 months. In some journals, they will give you 1 month. Minor revision is normally 1 month only in almost all journals. In Now, what you have to do when you get a uh, chance to revise and resubmit your paper, response is very much important. Now, what has to be there in the response sheet or answer to the referees? You need to, for example, you are getting 2 or 3 referees comments. You first need to write a kind of thank you message to the referees, saying that their comments has their comments are accepted, and then put referee one, his comment number one, and your response to that particular comment, how you address that comment. Sometimes we as author we will say only your comment has been addressed, this has been done, this is done in the paper. What is done we don't know. So what has to referee has to do, he has to go inside the paper and find what has been done, which is time consuming, and no referee is interested in doing that. Sometimes if referee finds what you have done, he may accept or she may accept your paper, and in case I don't find what I am looking at it and what you have done, you may get a rejection because I don't see what changes you have made in your paper. So this is very much important. When you get a revision chance, you need to make if you cannot paste the changes from the manuscript to the response sheet, you write the page number, that this particular page from this line to this line has been changed, so that referee, he can track the changes that you have made. These days in some journals, they allow they ask, not allow, they ask for you to submit 2 versions of the manuscript, one with track change mode, another clean version, so that referee can look at the changes that you have made. For each referee, each comment you need to write a response, and then also paste the changes that you have made. So referee doesn't need to see the paper, and by only reading the response sheet, he will be or she will be able to make the decision. That will make the process much easier, much faster for the editor, and you will referee has to look for it, and then it will delay the process. So it is for your interest to do it in a proper way. Quality of revision. This is another important aspect. Uh, you need to pay considerable attention. Okay, some referees are very much concerned if you are not paying attention to their comments and all, and then they feel unhappy, and then they can reject in the second round. Yes, they will say that you are not bothered about my comments and things like that. The problem happens when one referee says something for a particular point and another referee says another thing for same point. Then you have contradiction in the referees. In that case, you can write email to the editor and say that uh, both referees having contradictory opinion or views on this particular point, so I do not know what to do, can you suggest me please. So he will give his own opinion, and then based on this, you can write it in the response sheet that this is what happened, and then I am following referee 1 or referee 2, whatever it may be, based on the suggestion of the editor-in-chief or handling editor. Okay. Next is highlight changes in the manuscript. In some journals, it is, as I said, they will ask you to submit track change manuscript version. In some journals, they will ask you to submit a clean version, but then they will ask to make it in different color. All lines or words that you have changed, make it in different color. Okay. Next is sending to the same referees from the editors. It is mostly it is most common that papers are sent to the same referees because it is good that they see whether their comments are addressed properly or not. Now, but it may not happen each time. Okay, it may not happen each time. When editors feel that referees are biased, their comments are not enough. Okay, they don't, or maybe referees are compromised. So what they will do, they will take opinion for another referee, maybe new referee, and then they will ask whether I have done that as a author. Sorry, as a referee, I have received a paper which I never reviewed, miss revised version of paper which I not reviewed before. And then as a editor also I have done. I have sent when I felt that referee's comment was not enough to improve the quality of the paper. So you need to see uh, this as well. Now there are some another important things that is practiced in India and in some other countries, which is not liked by the editors, by the publishers as well. Sequence of the authorship changed. Okay. The first author, if you make it last author when you revise and resubmit or anything, okay, then it will create a problem. It will paper may get accepted, but when it goes to the publisher, he will look at from the first submission to the last submission. It will delay the process. So it is not advisable. You can of course make the changes in case you are determined to change it, but it is not advisable to do it. Okay, you change the authorship order in the revision stage. Also, sometimes it has been seen that in the revision stage, some new authors are added. Emerald is very much particular about it. If in the revision stage you add any new author, your paper either will be rejected at the end, even if it is accepted by the editor in chief, publisher will reject it and he will not publish it unless and until you provide not only as a corresponding author, but all authors provide a written statement why they are adding a particular author. And it is not only that everyone agrees, okay, I am agreeing to add him as an author and he has contributed this and that. Your statement should be strong enough to make publisher understand, to make him clear that his contribution is really a contribution, okay, and that is where he has been added or she has been added in the revision stage. So you need to be very much particular. You may need to be very much clear on it. Otherwise, it will be a big problem to you. Copy editing sometimes after referee accepts, editor will send maybe editor may send paper back to you saying that you get it copy edited. So that you for that you need to find one agency who can help you. Each publisher has its own copy editing service that is very costly, but then maybe your university will have university may also have or college may have some English editing person. If you don't have, then you need to find some other people, okay, who are able to do. And sometimes you don't need to get it done with the miss. They won't agree if anyone is doing unless it is a professional agency because they need a certificate from the professional agency that paper was copy edited. although it is a job of the publisher to get it copy editing at the end, but these days uh, it is practiced that it is job of the author. Okay, it is responsibility of the author. Review comments addressed, yeah, that you have to see when you are submitting the final version of the paper. As we said in the revision stage, sometimes even if paper is accepted, but it is more than the word limit prescribed in the general's policy or aim and general's policy. So if paper is little bit longer, sometimes maybe 100 200 words extra will be accepted by the editors or by the publisher. But sometimes some journals or publishers are very much strict, and they will ask you to reduce the word to the prescribed limit, and paper will be sent back to you. Then you can do some fine tuning or removing or adding some differences depending upon the situation. And then this is what it is. And then okay, so we are done with perspective from the editor's side. There is some reading that you can go through. Okay, and then we close this particular session. Now I will talk about uh, writing the paper and all. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are good. Uh,
Yes,
let's
sir.
begin.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, this part is some part. So we'll talk about how to write a good research paper here. Okay. We have also seen the even if your paper is good, as I talked, it depends upon the acceptance rate and things like that. Okay. So don't worry about it. But as an author, it is our job, our responsibility to write a good research paper first, and then rest leave on the God or leave on the editors or referees to determine or decide whether your paper is suitable for particular journal or not. Before we begin here, I would like to say that research, don't take it as a job. Okay, it is like a hobby. If you like it, you love it. If you love it, you do it. If you take it as a job, it will be like a burden on you. And then anything which is burden on you, you will not be able to do it in a proper way. These days, most of the business school, universities, college, whatever, because of their ranking or accreditations or anything, they are putting more pressure on the faculties to publish, and faculty members, they have a lot more duties. Okay, to do in the school or in the university. So they are not getting much more free time to do a proper job. And because of so much of pressure, you know what happens. Then we fall or adopt some unethical practice or things which we should not do. So if somehow your school or university or they can understand or you can make them convinced that uh, you have to create such environment which can be helpful for us to make a good research paper, that will be good. Otherwise, we have to live with it. There is nothing else we can do. Next point which I want to talk is research. Again, it is a game. Okay, as we all know, in each game there are some rules. But the good thing is with research is that in research game we can set our own rules. Okay, so So we are free to set the rules, but once rules are set, we cannot make very frequent changes to it. This is only the problem. We can set the rules, we are free to do it, but then we cannot take it for granted. Okay. Once rules are set, then rules are set. That's it. So now we talk about publication. Where to publish? We know our UGC, our universities, colleges, they are focusing on Scopus journals. Uh, NITs and maybe IITs, they are talking about SSCI or impact factor journals. Some business school in Australia and abroad, they are talking about ABDC, and even India also. Some business schools, they are talking about ABDC index journals. ABS is for UK basically, but in some top schools in India, they are talking about ABS, and they even give better positions, maybe incentive even for ABDC and ABS publications. CNRS is for French ranking, and there are so many other ranking which are country specific, like for Italy, German is scale ranking and all things like that. So where to publish is important question. Again, I will leave it open to you to decide. If you are looking for job in India in business school, you need to focus on Scopus and ABDC. If you can get common, that would be the best. If you are looking for NITs and all, IITs and all, then you can focus on maybe Scopus and SSCI combination. If you can get it, that would be the best. If you are looking for job in UK, ABS listing can be the best. If you are looking for job in France, CNRS will be the best. So this is where you need to focus on. You need to see your future and then target about the journal in which you want to get your paper published. Now, what type of paper? There are different type of papers, different type of research articles. Normally, we talk about two type of research articles. One is called full-length paper, another is called short. Full-length paper is about 7 or maybe 6,000 to 8,000 words. Okay. Research article and short length research articles are sometimes referred as research notes or short communications. The word limit can be around 1,500 or 2,000 to 4,000. In most of the universities or colleges, I don't know in India, but abroad, whether it is a short length research paper, research note, or full length research articles, both are treated equally. Okay, so there is no problem. The good thing is with short length research articles is you have need to write less, but the problem with this is uh, you need to be very much clear because words are very word limit is very strict. Okay, maybe 1,500 including everything or 2,000 you can assume. What you as a academician, we know we need to talk too much, we need to write too much, so then we face a problem. We don't know what to write actually so that it is appealing. There we don't need to talk any bullshit, we need to talk to the points. We just talk to the point, then only we'll be able to deliver what we want to say within the word limits. Otherwise, we'll be exceeding the word limits and then we'll not be able to say what we want to say. And then paper will be rejected. So writing style for both type of articles is totally different. And both type of papers are treated equally. Full length papers will take time to write. Short length papers will take less time to write as well as review. Because referee will get less time, maybe 15 days, for example, finance research letters, 1 month for economic letters and things like that. So within less time, because 5-6 pages, 1,500 or maybe 2,000 words paper. Okay. So it doesn't take much time to read. The important thing is to decide what kind of research article you will write. Uh, it depends upon the kind of research idea that you have. If you are making a research paper which is contributing to the large extent to the theory, model, or empirical research, then you can write a full length paper. But if you think the contribution can be little or it is just a marginal, then writing a short research letters can be a good idea. Also, when you think that this is a very new idea and developing a full length paper can be time consuming, so you can make your idea a little shorter or smarter and make a short research, short length paper, and and then get it published, so that the novel idea that you had created or you had in mind, it gets published and you get more citations. As an author, we also need more citations. Now, next is how to publish. How to publish means, this is here we are talking about normal process. Normal process includes basically two types of systems. One is, regular submissions, and another is special issues. Okay. Now, in special issues, the problem is regular submissions. We all know, we all submit to regular issues. Special issues is easy if you have some good network with the handling editors or managing guest editors, in fact. If you don't know, then you can say only 5% chances are there, because for most of the, I am just telling the frank opinion. Okay, it some may feel bad about it, but this is what it is. Again, some editors, they have good network, and the moment their special issue is announced or published in social media or in journals website and all, so many researchers who are there in network, they will try to push their papers in those special issues. And then any paper which is outside their network will have to face real challenge to get a paper published, right? So you need to see uh, this aspect as well. Then who is the beneficiary? Okay. When we write the paper, you need to see, we are writing for academician, we are writing for practitioner, and we are writing for whom. For example, Journal of Public Affairs, where I am regional editor, they publish two type of papers. One is academic papers, and the other is practitioner papers. So academic papers are for academic community, and practitioners are for practitioners, or maybe you can say for industry. So when you are deciding about, and again, as a researcher, as a young researcher who has completed PhD recently, within last 5 years, or all those who are in the process of completing PhD or doing PhD, I would not recommend them to write a practitioner research paper. This is not good and it is not recommended. And in most of the universities abroad and maybe in India too, it is not considered equivalent to the academic articles, and you will face difficulty in getting job as well. Uh, so it is better to focus when you have considerable or some sort of experience in academia, maybe 10 years. After that, you can write practitioner papers, or if you are coming from the industry, then there is no problem. Okay. After industry, if you are doing PhD, then still you can write, but then your focus will be together different. Then when your paper will be published, since the submission, as I already talked for the in the beginning, it depends upon the journal to journal, uh, how much time it will take, whether it is journal is following what I should say, one revision or two revision or three revision process. What is their disk rejection rate? What is their acceptance rate? So things like that. Okay, will decide. Apart from the most important or problematic part is referees. Sometimes what happen when we submit, when we uh, invite a referee will accept for the first time, but he may not agree to review when we invite him to see the revised version of the paper. Then there is a problem. He says we don't have time, I don't have time. Then we have to find some other referee who can agree to his comments, and then it your paper publication process may get delayed. Also, as I said in the beginning, the changing in the authorship, adding authorship, all that thing can delay the publication process. Next, path of publication. So here we talk about research idea. First, any research idea, then there are two ways to do it. One is we have one research idea, we make one research paper, and then we submit to some journal where that research idea fits into. Okay, that is one way. Second way is we target one particular journal. To target the journal, we need to follow some papers. We need to follow for it for some maybe months or years, and then we need to see uh, what kind of papers are published in that particular journal. Okay, and after understanding the quality of the paper, the themes on which it is publishing, we think on a research idea on which we can work and then submit. Okay, and then process is same that I already suggested. Okay, now I'm moving on another theme. Okay. Okay, and last point in this, in case your paper is rejected either by the referee or the desk. So in most cases, it will be said why your paper is rejected by the editor from the desk or by the referees. Okay. Then you need to see what are the points why your paper is rejected. Means what are the points which are more critical. Okay. There may be 100 points that referee is identifying, but some points may be very minor, which can be fixed very quickly. But some points uh, which are very tricky. Tricky in the sense that those are major points. Okay. For example, your sampling design is wrong. If sampling design is wrong, means everything is wrong, right? For example, your questionnaire development was not proper. When questionnaire development was not proper, means sample and everything that has been done from the data part is incorrect. So those things you need to see the region of rejection and then rework on your paper. It is not advisable to submit the same paper number one to same journal. You think some I have seen some authors what they will do. If your paper is rejected, they will change the title and they will resubmit to the same journal. No, it is wrong. What happens when you submit sometimes sorry, not sometimes as an editor we get there is one index that comes to us uh, which talks about who are the authors, okay, of the paper which was rejected or which has been accepted, or maybe the same title if we are using, or whether it was submitted some other place. So this is how we come to know, or maybe same journal before. So it is always better to revise, address the comments which you had received by the editor if it was desk rejected or by the referees when it was rejected after review. So please rework the paper. Another important reason why I'm saying this is in case if you submit it to some other journal, the same work, what may happen, as we all know, on a particular subject area, okay, there are not many researchers working. Maybe if you talk about say commodity markets, maybe only some thousands, okay, it won't be lakhs even. In thousands, some percentage, some 5 to 10% or maybe 20% you can just leave because those are top people. Okay, they will not look for the A and B journals. They will not have time to review those papers. Okay, so just leave them. They will not review your paper. Now remaining people, in that editor need to find a person or author who can review your paper. And it is quite likely sometimes it happens that if your paper was submitted to journal A and it was rejected by referee, and same referee is invited from the journal B when you resubmit the same work, then uh, decision will be same. And this time referee will ask, even write to the editors also, that this was submitted this journal and authors have not done anything. Then editors have one option, they will kind of black mark you. Okay, they will put one star, that star or maybe anything, any other symbol. It depends upon the submission system to submission system, where you can be indicated as not good researcher or things like that, who is not following the proper process. So next time when you submit, your papers will be read by the editors very carefully, and most likely it will be rejected again. Okay. So it is advisable to submit to the different journal, but after reworking. Second important thing is, or maybe last is, resubmit it soon. Why resubmit? Because your paper was already reviewed by the editor or reviewed by the referees. Okay. And in case maybe your idea was interesting, but your contribution was not enough. Okay. But editor might have liked your idea, referee might have liked your idea. So he may not exactly replicate your work, but he may extend your idea. And then somehow he may be or she may be lucky to get his or her paper published, and you are still struggling. If that happens, then your paper likelihood to get published will be very minimal, because already extended version has been published, right? So that is where we say resubmit it soon. Okay. Now we talk about okay. Do you want me to talk on this? I want to hear from the participants.
So they are saying yes.
Okay. So we talk on it, and then I don't know. After that, we will have Amit sir or no?
Oh, yes, sir. We are having Amit sir at 11:30. Around.
11:30. Okay. So till 11:30 I can talk, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he'll be talking on structure, I think, then paper. So I don't need to talk on structure. I will talk on talk here. Okay. So question and answers will be when?
Sir, it's
Hello.
up to you when you would like to take.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir. There are
after
certain
this,
questions.
I think maybe 30 minutes we can talk on question answers.
Okay,
Okay, or
okay,
maybe
sir.
20 minutes.
Okay, sir. So we have Ananya to help you in question answer parts. Ananya, please take over when sir say.
Okay, ma'am.
So now we'll talk about what are the do's and don'ts that we need to keep in mind while we are developing our research paper. There are 10 do's. One, follow generalized approach. Okay. Uh, this is more realistic for papers or research articles or researchers who are working on marketing, HR, OB, or psychology, may not be so specific for economics and finance, but maybe behavioral economics and behavioral finance. Okay. Why I'm saying this? Because if we are talking about economics or finance paper, okay. Say for example, someone is finding, say, economic growth or maybe stock market are co-integrated in India. Okay. And then we cannot say that this may be true in China as well, or maybe in Japan as well, or maybe in US as well, because their economic structure itself is altogether different. So if these two markets are co-integrated, it may not be necessarily this be holding true in other countries. So in economics and finance, this is allowed. We can test the same thing in other country context. But say for example in HR and OB in marketing, when we are adopting, say for example, Parasunaman's approach, okay, a marketing, consumer service, or anything else, okay, and if something is holding in say some country context, then it is very likely that it may hold because that model is very much generalized, so it may hold in some other country context as well. So this is where it is suggested that uh, we don't need to be very much uh, specific on particular aspects, okay. As much as possible we can be generalized. It will attract more citations. If you are very much specific, then citations can be issued, sale for the journal can be issued, and editors will not be very much happy to publish such papers which is very much specific on particular context, right? Second, provide the reader with a roadmap of how the paper is going to flow. That is last paragraph in your introduction section, okay. So first section is normally introduction, or some authors write like a motivation to research, but mostly it is introduction, okay. And then uh, third point is highlight the originality of your study in abstract and introduction. This is very much important because 90% people, or you can say even 99 percent people will read the abstract first, okay, and then 90% will definitely will read the introduction if they are happy with the abstract. So if you are not able to write the originality or your real contribution in the abstract, then you are not going to attract researchers to read your paper, okay. It is just like a marketing strategy. You need to attract researchers to read your paper, right? If you are not able to do, you don't get citations. Now the point is here, where in introduction we write the originality, that will be talked about by maybe Amit Singh sir. But I will say it would be advisable if you can begin with the original contribution from the first para itself. Say for example, I'm talking because I'm basically from economics and finance background. So I will be talking, say for example, these researchers have used this particular model and validated this hypothesis or that hypothesis in this particular country, okay, using some or other approaches, which has to be very recent paper. And then we are extending their work in this dimensions. So that is now first paragraph. So in first paragraph itself is clear that what we are doing. Now, why this topic is interesting, why we are extending that particular study, we need to talk in the second paragraph, okay. And then their theoretical motivation, theoretical importance, practical implication, third paragraph, and so on and so forth. That is the best way to write introduction. Otherwise, general practice is we introduce the topic and then we talk about why this topic is important in today's environment or in the current context, or what we call it relevance. and then we talk about how we are contributing. So what happens in this process, sometimes people will write too much theory, okay, too much explanation, and then most of the researchers who are expert in that particular field, they will feel bored by reading all the detailed explanation, and then by the time they will reach to the paragraph where you are writing or talking about originality or your contribution, they won't even don't want they will not feel to read that paragraph itself, because by the time they will be tired and they may skip that just that pace, and then they will miss that part. So to me it is advisable to write it in different fashion, because this is selling style, selling of your article, selling of your idea. So the better way you are able to sell, uh, your paper will be liked by the referees, editors, and if it is published by the authors, other researchers, or academic community. Next point is explain uniqueness of your study. As I said, when we talk in the introduction, if we can write what is the uniqueness, what is the contribution, how we are extending. So uniqueness is again the originality only. Okay. How your paper is different from several other studies. If you can justify it in the first paragraph somehow, that would be the best. We have talked about plagiarism check, or what we call it similarity analysis. This is very much important. I hope your university, college, or school will have access to it. If they don't have, you try to get connect or network with your friends, colleagues, or whoever he or she may be. Get your paper similarity checked or plagiarism checked. These days, UGC also has come up with the new rules, although I don't agree with the UGC guidelines of 10% plagiarism check. Okay, that is acceptable in the science, but in social science, normally journals are following 18% for the empirical research papers, and for theoretical papers it can go even up to 30%, because theories you can't change anything, the models you cannot change anything. So that is where the idea of similarity that journals or publishers are following. So you need to see if you are agreeing, somehow you can reduce it to that 10% as UGC likes or UGC wants. That would be the best. Otherwise, for the journals, it has to be at least 18%. Okay, it should not be more than 18% in any case, because if paper is rejected by the editor, that's rejected by the editor because of similarity check, then it is a bad name to you. Okay, it is a bad name to you. And if it happens, say for example 2 times, then again you will be like a blacklisted in a particular journal. And even sometimes some journals are very much particular about it, and what they will do is, if your paper is 2 times rejected in the same journal because of similarity check, they will inform not only the publishers, okay, but all other editors by the same publishers. So you see the problem. Everyone will come to know about your work, the kind of work or the things that the way you are doing. So when you submit any paper, any other paper to any other journal which is published by same publisher, you will have problem. Okay, that will not be known, but you will see the outcome in terms of desk rejection. So it is always advisable, not only advisable, but I will recommend, okay, that you must do it without uh, doing similarity check. You don't submit any paper to any journal. Okay. Also, another thing, when it gets rejected because of this thing, you lose the chance even without getting any proper feedback. Okay, which is very much important for your paper. Then Another important point is cite some recent papers from the same journal where you are submitting, at least 3 years papers. That would be the best. Okay. Why this is important is because as editor, we want to see the increasing impact factor of my journal. That is one important thing. Second thing is, if you are citing from recent years, not very old papers, I will know that you have been following my journal and you are no recent uh, publications what has been done in my journal on this particular topic. Point number two. Now, point number three is if you are citing recent studies, it will give a clear indication that you are updated. Okay, you are not outdated. You are not doing any outdated research. You know what has been just now done, okay, by the researchers. So these three indicators are very much important for the editors, and then of course for you. So you need to cite recent papers, as many as recent papers possible. Okay. Now, next is do robustness check, such as using different methods of sample, etc. These days, most of the journals, sometimes referee will ask that whether you have done some robustness check analysis or not. Now, what is this? This, as I said, it can be done using two different methods. Say, for example, if you want to test the association between X and Y. To test the association, we can use ANOVA, we can use chi-square. However, sometimes, because ANOVA is based on different assumptions, chi-square has different way of doing it, and mostly results will be common, but sometimes it may so happen that ANOVA is giving different results from the chi-square test. Okay. So using two methods will make your results, your findings robust, and you can say that even if someone is using this method or that method, it is not going to change my findings. Okay. So editors are very much keen on it that if method X can change the findings, okay, of your study, then we don't know what is the real contribution, because X is giving different finding from the method Y. So which method is correct? Again, one has to go to theory and then prove and or disprove. So if you are using two or three methods which can generate similar results, that would be the best. And in case results are not similar, then you have to uh, argue for one particular method, which method you prefer and why, and things like that. In case different methods are not possible, try to use some subsamples. For example, if you have primary data of 5,000 samples, so which is quite large enough, then you can make it maybe subsample, or within 5,000 you can have random samples. Okay, because already you have collected the data, and within the data you can say maybe 1,000 sample is enough based on the number of questions that you have got, and you can take 4 or 5 subsamples within the 5,000 total sample, and then do the analysis and see whether you are getting same results or not, or anything else that you can do. Some researchers they are doing primary data and secondary data analysis as well to see the robustness of their results. So there are different ways, so many ways, based on the research question, research design, research objectives and all, you can find a way to do it. Now get English edited. This is very much important. If we are non-native English speaker, uh, sometimes, or you can say mostly, it happens that we are not able to write it a proper way. While reading, we may feel happy, but uh, when it goes to some American referee or British referee, he or she may feel bad about it when he is not able to get the clear understanding about what are you trying to say. So get it professionally edited. Of course, it will cost you, but then if your institute can support, that would be the best. Otherwise, there is no other way. You have to pay for it. So that is bad thing for researcher, but there is no other way. Now, next point is drive hypothesis in an empirical research paper. Okay. Research questions in qualitative papers and theoretical or testable proposition in a conceptual papers. So these things are very much important. If but in most of the economics and finance research papers, we don't see the term or name hypothesis per se, but there will be, of course, hypothesis inside which authors are trying to test. If you can make somewhere that this point clear, that would be best for the readers or researchers to understand. Qualitative and say qualitative papers and theoretical papers, it is very much important to have clear statements. Okay, what kind of propositions or hypothesis you want to test. Next is focus on findings of prior studies. Okay, for that you may have a table. When you are talking about literature review section, we know in table what we need to write. We need to write author's name, I mean who conducted those studies, in which year that paper was published, what were the models used or from where data was collected, all that thing information, what were the major variables, if there are many variables, and if possible we can list all, and what were the key findings. Okay, not everything what they found you have to discuss, but you have to discuss the finding which is related to your paper. So that will be helpful for any researcher readers to clearly understand and then relate your paper to those studies. Next is select a topic with newness and novelty and avoid recycled topics. Yes, this is again related to novelty only. So if you are, say for example, in economics, finance, again we are talking about poverty, inequality. Since India got dependence, we have been working on poverty and inequality. So it is very difficult to add anything new to it, which is already there. Okay. Maybe you are not aware, but if you research since last 50, 70 years, we have done a lot, right, on poverty and inequality. So almost nothing is left. So if you can choose any topic which is not kind of recycled or on which much research has not been done, that would be good. But if you are taking a very new topic for which literature itself is not available, then it can be a problem as well. Because without literature review, without literature support, if you are making paper, then maybe referee is not very much expert or aware about that particular topic, and then he will feel that you have not done any literature survey and then you are writing a research paper. So how that is possible? Then it can be a tricky for you. So if publication is again, you can say it is art. So you need to find a way with which uh, you, if somehow you can make a topic, uh, choose a topic which can be very interesting, which has got some sort of literature, but it is not very extensively research topic. That would be the best choice, I would say. We have discussed implement all comments. You get that in revision. But in case of conflicting comments, as I said, you need to talk to the editors. Okay, don't take your own decision and then you think you say that okay, I like referee one, so I will address referee one's comment, and referee two I don't like, so I will leave this particular comment. That will make your life complex, and maybe you get rejection itself. So, in case you have conflicting situations, in that case, you can talk to the editors, and then I hope they will be able to help. And last point here is focus on conceptual, analytical, and presentation dimensions. This is again presentation style. So, what you have to focus on when we talk about originality or contribution of your paper, you need to focus on the concepts on which you are making a paper. Analytical is nothing but analysis method which you are trying to utilize or address your research question. And then presentation of the paper uh, should be, as I said, it can be free or open style submission, but you need to focus on you need to follow one simple style. It is not something in AP and something in Chicago and something in some other format. Single format, single style means if someone see in simple terms, I will make you understand. If you write any paper, research paper, of course you might have read some papers, right? So when you are reading the papers, you have seen the way it was written, the structure that was followed. So your paper should have that standard in simple terms. If what you have read and the way you have written, if there is mismatch, then there is a problem. So you need to keep that point, those things in mind. And last is now don't. For first point, it depends. Don't cite from regional, local, national journals. It I'm not saying that don't do it, but this reflects the quality of the papers that you are reading, right? If there is journal which is not known, there is journal which is published locally only from particular state people knows, and then you are citing that research article and submitting it to some international journal. So what happens? Editor will feel, or I will make you understand this in other way. See, when what kind of research paper or books that you are reading? Okay, if you are reading good books, you get the good knowledge. If you are reading bad publishers where a lot of mistakes are there, you get the bad knowledge. So same idea applies on research papers as well. If you are reading some local, regional or journals which are not known, not indexed, and submitting a paper to international journals using those references, editor will feel when your knowledge that has come is coming from reading of such articles, it means the way you are contributing it may not be good, and then most likely you get the rejection from the desk. So this is another important thing. Of course, when you don't get any theoretical support from any international journal, then you have to use, and you must use, not you have to, but you must use national or local journals. But if possible, you can avoid, or you can have limited use of national international journals. That would be best for you. Okay. Second important thing is avoid citations from the website or from the news articles or from the magazines. Okay. This is not because those are not research papers. Okay. Sometimes, again, it is not against the books, but sometimes some researchers they feel very much unhappy when someone is quoting some books for some of their arguments. Books are good source to increase the knowledge and learning, but again, it is a opinion of some people. Okay, each one has got his own way of thinking and doing. But if you can increase the increase the number of references from the journal articles, that would be the best. Books, when you cannot avoid, you can include uh, citations from the website. When you cannot avoid, you can include citations from the local journals. When you cannot avoid, you can include, but try to minimize it. Okay. Next, don't include country or statement in the title. Why? Because you want to generalize you want to generalize your study. But again, this view is different from some researchers. Some researchers are very specific and they will ask if you don't do it to make very specific in the title itself. For example, if you are using even in one of my paper, referee said, why are you not using this convenience sampling method? When you are using convenience sampling and you are talking about simple using from primary data and all, you need to say the method that you use. It need to be clear. Then why are you are not using India when data is coming from India? India is a case study. So some editors, some referees are very much specific, but if it is possible for you to somehow avoid any word in the title which is against the generalization theme, that would be the best, because this is the way you can increase more number of downloads, citations, and more readership of your articles. Okay. Next is no need to spend lot of time for changing format if the journal is not asking for it. So this again depends. As I had said, these days most of the journals are asking for free format, so you don't have to really worry about it following the journal format. Okay, you can submit, but you need to follow some format. Next is don't submit to the slow journal. Now, what are the slow journals? When you see the journals, as I had said in the beginning, that some journals they have many issues, okay, or they can publish more papers. It means they have got they can accept quickly, they can publish quickly. But some journals, their review cycle is long. Like first review stage itself may take 3 to 4 months. If a referee is getting 3 months time, it means most likely he may submit in 4 months or maybe 5 months. So first decision will come in 5 to 6 months. Then publication maybe in after 2 years. Okay. So you decide, and then you see almost each journal these days they are publishing when their paper was submitted first and then when it was published. Okay. So you can go to the journal website and see this for some papers for some years, and then you will have some sort of understanding that what is the speed in this particular journal, or duration in this particular journal, and then decide to submit or not to submit. Otherwise, if you have got your school has got access to Cabell's directory, the Cabell directory also gives an information uh, about this publication process speed. So from there also you can get an idea, and then you choose a journal which has got good speed. Next is don't defend yourself if you get a revision. Okay, you need to be very much polite, because referee is not sitting in front of you. Any harsh word that you write in the revision or in the response letter, if referee feels hurted, then no one can save you. So you need to be very polite when you are talking about, even if uh, you may feel that referee was not aware about it and referee has no idea about what you have done and things like that. But you need to be calm and say your arguments in a very polite language. And last, as we talked about before, don't use recycled theory. You need to focus on new ideas, new theories, new models, and things like that. So, okay, I think thank you very much. Rest will be taken care by Amit sir. And now we talk about the question and answers.
Yeah. Ananya,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, please help sir in taking the questions.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So, sir, first question says, how do I write a publication paper and how do I get my academic paper published?
How to write a academic paper, right? That Amit sir will be talking about how to write a academic article. Now, how do I get my paper published? I already explained the process, okay, of a paper publication. It depends upon acceptance rate, but first you need to write a good academic paper.
Okay, sir. So, sir, next question says, can I publish my research paper in journal free of cost?
Of course, see, only in economics and finance, okay, only in economics and finance, and also I think economics and finance also it is possible in emerald journals and in Ender Science. Otherwise, all other journals in economics and finance field, they charge submission fee, not publication fee, submission fee, because of few submissions. So it is very much possible for you to publish a paper without paying even single penny. If you are in economics and finance, even then it is possible. Otherwise, I don't see if in any other stream like in HROB, marketing, or in any other field, there are some charges.
Okay, sir. So, sir, the next question is, sir, suppose we have revised a paper to a great extent after getting rejected. Now we feel there is high possibility that the paper will be accepted. Can we resubmit it again in the same journal later?
If you have addressed all the comments from the referees, okay, then you need to write a response letter as well that you have addressed all the comments, just like a revised version when we get a revision, and it will be depending upon the editor. Editor may accept your revision and again send it out to the review process, or he may reject. He may say that once your paper is rejected, I will not consider it anymore. So this depends upon the editor to editor, but some editors they will be happy. Uh, they will say, okay, if your uh, revised version is addressing all the comments from the previous version, then it can be sent out to the review process.
Okay, sir. So, sir, next question is, what is the difference between originality and uniqueness of study?
As I said, both are almost same. Originality and unique. See, originality, mm, not exactly very much same, but almost same. Uniqueness, you can be making much more contributions. Okay. Say for example, sometimes researchers will say we are using some subsample data, or we are using advanced method, or we are using something, okay, which is making my research original. But there may be some other research, or maybe some points which is very much unique that has not been covered by anyone. So in originality itself, you can say if there are 10 points, then one point can be very much unique in the sense it has not been explored before.
Okay, sir. So, sir, next question is, what are we supposed to do when journals take so much of the time and the relevance of the paper get lost?
Yes, there are two options. One, you need to write to the editor and say that your paper was delayed and it has been pending with the editor for from say 5 to 6 months, and say same thing that if it is delayed more, then maybe you lose the relevance. Okay, so originality as well. So editor will try to do the, if he or she can get it reviewed fast. Otherwise, he will say that you can withdraw the paper. But withdrawing the paper means again submitting to some other journal, and then he or new editor need to find new referees, and it can be complicated. But to me, it would be best if somehow you can push the editor to get the review fast. That would be the best strategy.
Okay. So the next question says, what is robustness check?
I had already explained. I think he did not listen it properly.
Okay, sir. Uh, so,
So I will just talk on it a little bit. It can be using, as I said, say you want to see the association between X and Y, which can be tested by using chi-square test and ANOVA. If you are using chi-square, you need to justify chi-square, and sometimes results may be different using chi-square and ANOVA. So this is what is robustness check. If two methods are giving same results, we say results are robust. Robust in the sense results don't change. Okay, robustness meaning is results are not changing if we are using different methods. Results are not changing if we are choosing different sample size. Results are not changing if we are choosing even proxy variables, explanatory variables. Okay. So we need to find a way through which results are not changing. If that is possible, then we will say the results are robust.
they're saying, can you share few tips for writing qualitative paper?
Qualitative papers, right?
Yes, sir.
Qualitative papers, actually, I'm not expert. So qualitative papers writing is different from the empirical research papers. I'm sorry about it.
Okay, sir. So the next question is, what is the appropriate sample size for qualitative research paper? No, it's also qualitative only.
That is okay. See, in sample size, there is simple rule of thumb that is applied per question 10 responses, complete responses. Okay. So if you have got 20 questions in your questionnaire, you need to have a minimum of 200 sample size. So you can see number of your questions in your questionnaire and then determine the sample size. Otherwise, there are formulas as well using random sampling method. But for that, you need to know the population. Once you know the population, you can get the exact sample size.
How to write literature of review in thesis and in journals, whether it should be in paragraph or few lines.
How to write literature review in thesis.
And in journal.
Literature review is a section.
Means it should be in paragraph or a few lines.
Yeah, that is what I am saying. It is a section. Okay. So literature review in thesis, if you talk, it is a chapter. If you talk in a journal, it is a section. So what happens when you are talking about writing literature review? We will avoid to write, say for example, uh, authors X and Y, and then talk about their research paper in one paragraph, then author Y and Z, and again talk about their research in one paragraph. As I had said, it can be done. Maybe I think Amit sir will talk on more on this when
नमस्कार
you talk.
अविरल जी, नमस्कार।
नमस्कार साहब,
कैसे हैं?
बस बढ़िया है। So next
You have,
question,
you
madam.
have already, I think, covered everything.
नहीं सर, आपका सेक्शन नहीं छुआ है मैंने.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं. मैं तो I'm sorry I'm late today, but I have some important meeting in the university. That is why I joined late. कमलजीत जी नमस्कार. I think कमलजीत जी mute.
सर नमस्कार सर नमस्कार.
कैसे कैसे?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning आंचल, कैसे हैं आप?
मॉर्निंग.
अमित जी नमस्कार. राजीव
राजीव जी नमस्कार, कैसे हैं राजीव जी? नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप?
नमस्कार सर.
ठीक है भाई.
और ठीक सब चल रहा है, सब ठीक. So आप बता दीजिए कब शुरू करना है?
आई थिंक सर.
Sir, actually, we are Aviral sir is presently taking questions, so I guess only 2-3 are left. So if you
Okay.
allow,
You take it, yeah, please, you take it. All the
yeah,
best.
Ananya, please carry on.
Yeah, please.
They are saying that it didn't understand why not to include country name. If the
I had
Samsung
already said. See, there are two. It is not person. It is person specific or editor or phrase specific. It is not generalized. When you are having, say, for example, when you are making a title, evidence from developing country, evidence from emerging market. Okay. So all emerging market researchers will be interested to read that particular paper. If you talk about evidence from India only, it
And
will
so
be
the next
interested for
last
Indian researchers. But this is marketing of your paper. But some referees, some editors, they want you to talk on only on which your study is conducted. So they will force you to include country name. But if somehow you can avoid that, that would be the best in order to increase citation of your paper, in order to increase reader count of your paper.
Okay, sir. The last question is, please share the 10 ways not to write slide.
10 ways not to write slide.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that my time is over now. That was supposed to come later, but it's over. So in next presentation,
Okay.
I did not talk on it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, Ananya. Now, I would like to call convener of our program, Dr. Kawaljeet Singh, to formally thank Dr. Aviral Kumar.
Very good afternoon to one and all. I am very pleased to thank Dr. Aviral Kumar, Associate Professor of Economics, Rajagiri Business School, for accepting our invitation. It's been a great honor for us to have you as the resource person. On behalf of the members of organizing committee of FDP, I want to thank you for your insightful discussion on the today's topic, academic writing and paper publications. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful and informative session. It was indeed a great experience to us and to our participants as well. We look forward for such sessions in near future. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for accepting our invitation, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
और अविरल जी
बस सर आप शुरू हो जाइए, आपका टाइम स्टार्ट हो गया.
My time starts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can we start, Amit sir?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Please
डॉक्टर
allow me to
अविरल बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपको.
अरे सर आप इनवाइट करने के लिए धन्यवाद.
अरे नहीं सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. ये अमित सर हमारे बड़े भाई हैं.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. अविरल जी भी हमारे छोटे भाई हैं. और he is a authority in economics, not in India but in the world, I must say. So
अच्छा लगता है सर इस तरह के अच्छे लोगों को मिल के.
he has accepted our invitation. It's good, sir, to share your thoughts with all of us.
Even you too.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you.
सर का तो अपना कॉलेज है सर ये.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो.
Okay, करें share शुरू करें?
हाँ जी.
Okay, so participants, we have Dr. Amit Kumar Singh from Department of Commerce with us today as today's resource person who will be talking us on writing research papers. I would borrow 1 minute of yours to introduce Sir to you all. Dr. Amit Kumar Singh is an alumnus of Kirodimal College and Department of Commerce, Delhi Schools of Economics, and is a gold medalist in the MCOM examination of the University of Delhi. He has a teaching experience of more than 18 years, and his areas of specializations are finance and investment, initial public offering, market in particular. He has authored, co-authored, edited 10 books and has more than 65 research papers and articles published in reputed national and international journals, namely Sage Publication, Indian Journal of Finance, Elsevier Scopus Index Journal, Indian Journal of Research in Capital Markets, Finance India, International Journal of Financial Management, Macmillan, IGI Press, Taylor and Francis, Bloomsbury, BNC journals of ABDC list, and many more. He has written more than 15 papers on IPOs only. He has also presented more than 65 research papers in various reputed national and international conferences. He has won 8 Best Paper Awards too. He has co-chaired various technical sessions on finance and capital markets in conferences, seminars organized by various reputed institutions. He has been the resource person of various FDPs and MDPs in institutes and universities. He has also associated with advisory body of many international and national journals. And in the current scenario of COVID, Sir has also acted as a resource person in various webinars, FDPs organized on various platforms. I welcome you, Sir, on behalf of our entire team, on behalf of our college. I now request you, Sir, to please begin with your session.
Thank you. Thank you.
सर पीपीटी शेयर कर पा रहे हैं आप?
मैं अभी शुरू कर रहा हूँ, 1 मिनट बस।
Okay.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. So, Dr. Kamaljeet ji, Dr. Aviral ji, Dr. Rajiv Nayan ji, Mr. Pankaj, Dr. Achal, and of course, Principal Saab is not there, Dr. S.P. Agarwal ji. I'm extremely thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this FDP program. And friends, the topic which I'm already going to share is publication of research papers in Scopus and index journals. And my friend Dr. Aviral has already talked about a lot, and he has shared his own experience of, I must say, it's a research journey which he has shared with you all, how we can proceed with research papers and how we can publish in Scopus and index journals. Sometimes we have seen this thing that we write a very good research paper, we don't know how to publish it. What are the nitty-gritties we should require to publish it in a good reputed journals? So as he already talked about the major aspect that after publication, how we can proceed for publication in journals. So I am talking about some other things which are also important. How to make a research papers, what are the other things also required for publishing research papers. So the topic which I'm going to share and during this around 50 minutes lecture is basically Aviral ji has already talked about research meaning. Then I will talk about the current scenario, easy chair account, and then I will talk about what publisher wants and how we can achieve their target. Then structuring of manuscripts. Then 2-3 minutes I will give it to you on reference management tools. Then submission of papers in Scopus journal. I think Dr. Aviral ji has already covered this thing. Then what is DOI? What is ORCID? What is impact factor? And then I will talk about the Google Scholar count and then role of citations and UC care. And in between, after that, you can ask me the questions. So the first thing always comes in mind is research, and Aviral ji has already talked. So if I say that what is research according to me or in everybody's language, research basically talks about that is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought, and that is research. Nowadays, we always talk about research. We want to do this, we want to do that, but we not sure that whether we are able to achieve that target or not. So if I say that research is one of those words that you are likely to come across on almost daily basis, and it's true. It's okay if we think from social science perspective, it's okay. But if you think from English perspective, literature or psychology or science, then you see that whenever you sit, something comes in your mind. But the actual problem is that we're not able to convert the idea, the thinking into publication. And that's the problem. And that's I try to sort out today, that sometimes things comes in our mind, but we says that we are not able to make the research paper, sir. हम research paper बना नहीं पाते हैं. So research means that you don't know, but you are willing to find out. You reach certain stage, research. Research means you have already done the research, but you again finding out some new things. If I take the example of whether the Sensex will touch 50,000 or not in next 1 year, or bottom of Sensex or Nifty. So it's a research. If I'd say 9 months back, when COVID-19 pandemic occurred, nobody thought that after 15-20 days, Sensex will touch 26 because before that, Sensex had touched 41,000. And nobody even think of that after 3 months or 4 months, again Sensex will revive and will touch 46 to 47,000. And suddenly, day before yesterday, when one news broke out from Britain that again some new type of virus comes in COVID-19, again suddenly the market dive into the 1,500 points. Again, people are skeptical whether we should go for investment or not. This is all research. So these are the new areas are coming up in the finance, I can say. And moreover, I can also say one thing, that earlier we used to say 2 periods. One is before financial crisis and after financial crisis. Now we can say another period occurs before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. So from 2008 to 19 is a period of after financial crisis, but before COVID. But now after 19 or 20, then you can say that is a period of after COVID-19. So this is also a research area which I'm going to you today. And then other things, and it's not necessary that you can use this thing in the area of finance only. You can use it in the area of any research stream which you are belong to. Which sector will emerge after COVID-19? That is also the hot topic at that time, that at one point of time we are stick to the conventional sectors in the form of FMCG or you can IT, or you can say in the chemicals or some other sectors. Now after COVID-19, people are now talking about health insurance. People are talking about pharmaceuticals. People are talking about chemical sectors. People are talking about some new sectors. So these also the research. Then nowadays, another research is going on, which country will come out with the first. Then Russia start with the COVID-19 vaccine, then followed by Britain, Pfizer, then again AstraZeneca. So this is also research. So in this slide, basically I want to say that it's not stick to one area, but research is a ongoing process. Research basically belongs to the ideas, and don't take it otherwise, but generally I say that we never use our mind or ideas, because we do research in compulsion. And 90% of the people who are listening me today, I think they will agree with me that because they are doing MPhil or PhD or all these things, generally they say that we do research in compulsion. We have, sir, we do research because we want to submit our PhD. We want to do our MPhil. We don't do our project. So we do research in compulsion. But yes, and that is the harm. That is why we're not able to achieve what we want to achieve. The research is passion. Research is passion. It's not a bank which open from 9 to 5 and then close. Because sometimes from whole day, if you sit in the library and you think that I'm not able to do anything from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, I want to do some new, I want to read something new, but मेरे दिमाग में idea आया नहीं आज. तो research is passion है. कभी-कभी आपको, if it is you are sleeping or you generally find some idea, oh, I can do this, I can use the research like this, I can use this test like this, I can use this question and data like this. So it is a passion. I know a lot of times it happened with me also, with everybody, that we generally do research in compulsion कि हमें टॉपिक दे दिया गया है, आप उसमें करिए. पर मैं हमेशा ये कहता हूँ generally with my research scholars कि you go to library, you sit there, you read as much as you can, read, and then you find the area on your own. Sometimes many people don't want to read our own research paper. Yes, it's true. When I visited to many campuses of universities and institutes, generally people used to say me, sir, Amit ji, हम तो PhD कर ली 15 साल पहले, अब क्या करें, हम उस टाइम ने बैंकिंग में कर लिया या हमने फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन में कर लिया या HRM में कर लिया, दिस एंड दैट, हम क्या करें, अब वी वांट टू डू रिसर्च बट वी डोंट नो हाउ वी मोटिवेट आवरसेल्फ. So I generally say that it's not necessary that if you have done one work in banking, then you stick with banking next 15 years. Why not you want to do something in other area? Maybe if I take the example of finance only, then why do not do in the area of mutual funds? Then they say, sir, again mutual fund is the old topic, sir. It's of 20 years topic. No, mutual fund is old, okay. But SIP, systematic investment plan, systematic withdrawal plan, systematic transfer plan, then ETF, then index fund, then foreign fund. There's so many new things are hybrid funds, debt funds. There's so many new things are coming up in the market in the research area. Why not you do research in that area? Sir, okay, so that is why sometimes we don't want to read our own research papers because generally we do that research in compulsion. And that is why we don't want to even publish that research paper in good journals. Another thing I want to say is that do research in the area of domain. That is a very, very important point I'm sharing with you. What I feel, I'm sharing with my own thoughts here. So finance is very, very important. Marketing, HRM, any area I'm saying, any area which of your like you should do. First, make the area. It's not that you write one paper in finance, other in marketing. Then you write one paper in HRM, the next in artificial intelligence. No. First, you make the area. In which area you want to do research? Because when you choose finance, then you can do the good research or marketing. Because in finance, you have number of areas. You have financial inclusion, you have financial integrations. In marketing, you have green marketing, ethical marketing. HRM, you have some emotional intelligence, cohesiveness. Then in production, in corporate governance, you have new area. In accounting, you have very new areas. So first, because generally I know that all the new students or research scholars are listening to me today. That is why I'm students sharing with you that don't jump to publish your research paper in good journals first. First, you make the area and make some expertise in that area. Maybe finance, it may be marketing, it may be HRM, any area, but make some expertise in that area. That is good for you. See, in the research journal, you have, I think, Dr. Viral talk about Springer, Xavier, Sage, Wiley, Taylor Francis. Then in current scenarios, we have publishing service industry is growing very fast. 50% of research work is happening in India only. We have large number of national and international active publishers. Growing interest in social science in India and abroad. Then universities and department with research programs growing. Many new universities and colleges are coming up. Yes, they are basically opening up just for keen focus on research only. So government and institute are taking initiatives to start research in the area of research. Then we have total number of research scholars are growing. Competition is tough, yes, but quality is always in demand. Here I say that competition is not tough in India. Because that Averell talked to you that around 90% or 85% of the papers have got rejected in the stage 1, which is called as desk rejection. अगर 85% पेपर वहां फर्स्ट राउंड में क्लियर हो रहे हैं तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि कितने पेपर बचे 15%. तो it means that competition is not very tough. If you clear first stage, then in second stage or third stage you have a competition with only 15% people. तो अगर आपने पहले स्टेज में जो भी बताऊंगा मैं आपको, अगर आप उस तरह से पेपर बना लेते हैं अपना और कुछ चीजें ध्यान रखते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि definitely you are able to succeed first stage. I am talking about the ABDC journals. I am talking about the Scopus journals. I am talking about the good reputed journals also. Then, yes, 1.6 million paper published worldwide each year and 2 million books published worldwide each year, and it's continuing process. Then we have around Springer, Sage, Taylor Francis, John Wiley, Elsevier, Emerald, these all are basically the top journals. They have huge collection of journals. They have around 1600. Then Joint Valley have 600 plus journals. Elsevier, Emerald, these are the top journals in the world, I must say. If I talk about Elsevier only, then 7,000 writers, 70,000 editorial board members, 7 million authors are actively participate in Elsevier publishing industry. Around 30 million researchers, around 180 plus countries. There's access. Around 450,000 new articles they produce each year. Around 185 years of backup issue scan they have. Their 5 lakh reviews are there. And you see in the right hand side, 40 to 90% of the articles got rejected. And basically it is called as stage number 1. So if I say 90%, you can understand that the competition is left with only 10%. Now question comes, why we publish? What is the need of publication? What help us to publication? You see, sometimes we talk a lot. We discuss a lot in the colleges, in the institutes, in the classes. We used to say, we can do that, we can do this. हम बातें बहुत करते हैं. वो कहते हैं, मेरा आइडिया है, दिस इज माय एरिया, मुझे इसमें रिसर्च करना चाहिए, आई कैन डू रिसर्च इन दिस एरिया, दिस इज माय एरिया. या उसने पेपर छाप दिया, पर ये तो मेरा एरिया था, ये एफडीआई तो मेरा एरिया था, इनवर्ड वाला, ये बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट मेरा एरिया है, या आईपीओ मेरा एरिया है, कैपिटल मार्केट मेरा एरिया है, बट यार आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई एम नॉट सक्सीड. आई वांट टू डू रिसर्च इन दिस एरिया, बट आई डोंट नो यार, मैं लिख नहीं पाया यार. दैट इज द बेसिक प्रॉब्लम हियर फ्रेंड्स. दिस इज द बेसिक प्रॉब्लम हियर. We talk a lot, but we never convert our ideas into publication. And if it is possible, then definitely you're able to publish a very good research. Your research is not complete until it is published. Yes, definitely. You write a lot, but if you're not able to convert your thinking part into writing part, your research is incomplete. Or if it is unpublished, then okay. So first point comes in, exchange the ideas globally. Yes. If like in my introduction, they have said that I have written 15-20 papers in IPO and it's the counting going on. So generally I feel proud that yes, I'm writing research paper or doing research in the area of IPO study because it's my area, it's my specialization. Finance is my specialization, but I'm doing research in IPO study from the last, now it's almost 20 years now. So I tried to touch upon new areas, new concepts, new issues, I must say. So exchange idea globally. When I write research paper in IPO, it's not meant for only Indian readers. It means globally. If I publish one research paper in Scopus Index Journal or ABDC listed journal, so it is not only to, I'm talking about India, I'm talking about all over the world. Because if you publish in Emerald or Sage or Xavier, their readers is not restricted only to India, they're all over the world. So when you publish your any paper, it's not restricted to only India, it's all readers in the US, in the UK or Japan or Australia, France, Germany, everybody used to read. So yes, when you write, then you think what you are writing. To exchange ideas globally. You are exchanging your ideas and vice versa. When they write research papers, you used to read. You generally कहते नहीं हमने international papers पढ़े इतने. हमने 50 international papers पढ़े from the Korea, Hong Kong, Australia, Japan, France. We read their papers. We generally say that yeah, this person used to write only papers on this area. So definitely in my research work, I want to include his paper because his expertise in that area. Whatever he write good. So number 2 is network with community. Yes, people knows about you. When you keep on writing on one area, the people is, he keep on writing this area. Definitely, whenever the paper comes, definitely we should read because he always touch upon the new issues. Acquire research funding. Sometimes you publish it for UC research work, ICSSR, World Bank. So friends, when you do research, when you acquire the research funding, it is your moral duty also that you please acknowledge your work or when you acknowledge, it means that acknowledge the contribution of grant. The grant where you get the grant, you should contribute, you should write the name of the grant agency. Maybe it's UC or ICSR. I'm frankly speaking that many journals, when I used to review the research papers from the top journals, they asked me, even I asked them, ki bhai, they have taken the grant from UC or ICSR or any World Bank, why they have not acknowledged? It is necessary point. So please, whenever you take any grant, please write it in the acknowledgement. Yes, we have taken the grant from, and it is a part of that research project, which we convert into publication form. It is necessary. It comes under ethical point. It comes under conflict of interest also. Next is advancement in promotion or career. Yes, nowadays you understand that when associate professorship is there or professorship is there in the colleges, universities, everywhere, so you need around 10 papers or this and that, but definitely you write research papers for your promotion point of view. And yes, it allows you to become an effective communicator. Yes, I will show you next slide of how it'll help, because when you write and when you present, then definitely you share out ideas. It helps you to become an effective communicator. Your research is not complete until it is published. What publishers looks, see. Publishers' first focus is always on original or pioneering research work. They focus on content. They focus on novelty. Like in capital market, maybe some areas which are untouched. So please, whenever you write research papers, this is very, very important slide I'm talking about now, that whenever you write research papers, put something new in it. It should not be a old thing. या आपने जो भी old लिखा हुआ है वही आपने as such copy it. No. It should, your contribution to the research paper is very, very effective and very, very important and necessary, I must say. So original paper होना चाहिए, pioneering research work होना चाहिए. It should be focused on content. It's not only in commerce I'm saying, in any area I'm talking about. Something, I always say something new, innovative things should be there in your research papers. That's the, I always say, mantra of success or publication in research. New framework, new policy, new perspective, yes. Nowadays, people are missing to make a theory. People are missing to make a framework. People are missing to make a new policy and perspective. They don't devote much time on formation of theory or write a theory. Theory part is missing. They just write 10, 12 lines from here and there and the literature review, okay. Hypothesis, objective, okay. They are more focusing on test. They are more focusing on new tools. I'm not saying is there any harm in it. You use R, you use Python, you use any software. It's up to you. But I generally say is that please don't devote all the time in making theory, but please give some time on framework also, policies also, and new perspective also. Next is new evidence, alternative source of material. Yes, new. If you write something, please your paper should be supported by some new methodology or tools you derive or you develop. So new evidence should be there, new methodology should be there. And if you if you use R, if you use artificial neural networks, if you use some machine learning, if you use some Python or some other new tools, any tools I'm talking about, or T-test, F-test, जो भी आप कर रहे हैं, अगर कुछ नया कर रहे हैं, तो please write it in your research paper. Last, if you criticize any theory, if you say that this, I'm not agree with this theory, then you have to give a critical review, critical point from your perspective. You should say why you not agree with this theory, why you criticize this theory, and how you can, your theory is an improvement over the theory in the past. To revisit or critic on earlier theory mode like theory X, Y, Z. If you not agree with theory X, if you don't agree with theory Y of Hirschberg or William Ochi of theory Z, then you should write why we not agree with that. Friends, what theory is not? Yes, theories are not references. They are not datas. They are not list of variables of constructions. They are not diagrams. They are not hypotheses. Theories are not these things. If you say, if you write this is theory. No, this is not theory. Then what theory it is? Theory is the answer to queries of why. It is a connection among the phenomena. It is a story about the facts. Why facts, events, structure, thoughts occur. Theory emphasizes the nature of causal relationship. It says that what comes first as well as the timing of such events. So your paper should be made in such a manner that it takes a strong theory. And for construction of strong theory, I'm saying is in slide it's easy to say, but it takes a lot of time. Dr. Vilalji will agree with me that generally for writing research paper for A or B or top journals, it takes 1 year, 1.5 years. Now, for when paper takes 1.5 years or 1 year, so definitely you can understand that how much work you have to do for making the theory. Nowadays, we don't read much books. We depend on journals. We depend upon other sources. But I say that you read books, you try to develop the theories, and also you please read some good research magazines also, because there also you get the idea. I'm not saying कि कोई पुरानी मैगजीन या वैसी मैगजीन, बट जो ऑथेंटिक मैगजीन्स है, जो अच्छी मैगजीन्स है, अच्छे न्यूज़पेपर है, उससे भी आइडिया मिलता है. ऐसी बात नहीं है. मेरी रिसर्च में तो पक्का मुझे मिलता है. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि अगर आप उस रिसर्च एरिया में कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन टेक द रिसर्च एरिया और यू टेक द आइडिया फ्रॉम द मैगजीन ऑल्सो, बिकॉज जो न्यूज़पेपर में चीज छप रही है या जो मैगजीन में छप रही है वो लेटेस्ट चीज छप रही है. तो यू कैन ऐड ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन योर research papers in the literature review sections, or you support your document. Because like if I take the example of corporate governance, so many rules and regulations, clauses are keep on changing year in year. So you can take it from the some authentic source of good website or some good journals or some good magazines or newspaper, which you can use as a supportive document or evidences to support your theory. So what a good writing, your writing must be interesting for the readers. Why this? So I will tell you later part. And the author's aim should be to share knowledge and make a point, never to show off. Yes, you are sharing your knowledge. You're giving your point. It's not you're showing your own thinking. No. You are giving your own knowledge. You are giving your own idea. And if your work is not interesting, then definitely people will not read. And when people are not reading your work, then why the journals people will publish your research papers? Yes, reading and writing and connected. Yes, make a time to read research papers. It's 60 minutes a week, once a week. Now it's for those people who have done PhD and MPhil and from the last 20 years, 15 years not doing any research, they can go for that. But for new researchers, I must say that 60 minutes every day. For new students, I must say, who want shortcut, I must say, no, don't go for shortcuts. Initial stage, so you may succeed, but in the long run, definitely you're not able to succeed yourself. So for the students who want shortcut, I always say, please read as much as you can. Read good research papers, good journals. And another thing I want to share here in this platform, that please make a journal club. Always write research paper with the supervisor and colleagues and friends. This is a very, very important thing nowadays. If you see the papers of science or other streams, definitely you will find in physics, chemistry, generally you find sometimes in foreign journals, you find 20, 25 names. Because the journal, their data size is so large, their respondent size is large. They have so many tests on all these things. So they write research paper in 20, 25. But here in social science, generally I find 2 or 3 names, maximum 4 names. But I always say that, okay, sometimes journals publisher also don't agree with the more names. They say maximum to 3 limit or 4 limit. Okay, if it is so, it's okay. But otherwise, you can do the research by making some journal club. If you in college, teaching in college or institute, you can sit with the friends and you can share your views with them. Sir, if you agree with me and if your area is finance or accounting or HRM, so why not we do research in that area? Why not you start some idea? I will start the literature review. Somebody else will talk about the data and collection and all this thing. If you 3 or 4 people are jointly write research papers, definitely will give you a good edge over the others, and your paper will also you can make the paper in less time. It may be, if I say 1 year, it may be finished in 3 or 4 months. So definitely, I always says in every FDP and MDPs that please make a journal club. Friends, presentation of paper is always be important than publication of research papers. Presentation is always important than publication in the initial stage of writing research paper. Yes, it's my experience. मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि पब्लिकेशन करिए, और आजकल तो इतना ज्यादा आपको एक्सपोजर मिल रहा है ऑनलाइन, कितनी सारी वेबिनार्स, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड हो रही हैं कि आपके पास तो रोज एक कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है. तो अगर आप कोई नया पेपर लिख रहे हैं, इफ यू राइटिंग अ न्यू रिसर्च पेपर, you can present it first and then go for publication. Why it is important? Yes, expose your paper to criticism. Yes, expose your paper, let your papers be mature in this world. क्या हार्म है उसमें? कोई हार्म नहीं है मेरे हिसाब से. अगर आपने अच्छा काम किया है, अच्छा पेपर लिखा है, तो पब्लिश तो वो होगा. इट मे टेक टाइम, मे बी टेक 6 months or 1 year, बट एक्सपोजर इतना अच्छा मिलेगा आपको जब आप इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में प्रेजेंट करेंगे या इंटरनेशनल नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस कहीं भी प्रेजेंट करते हैं, बट प्रेजेंट वहां करिए जो आपके थीम से रिलेटेड हो. तो जो कमेंट्स मिलेंगे, जो सजेशंस मिलेंगे फ्रेंड्स से, दिस विल बी गुड फॉर यू, because constructive criticism received from submitting your research work to a journal can help you to make substantial improvement. So whatever the criticism you get from your people who are listening your work, who knowing their work, definitely you can use their criticism in writing a good research papers. Or generally, if you really want to target top journals, so I don't feel that you may succeed in first stage. Yes, it take time. In the first stage, if you publish your research papers, then in second stage again you will get some comments from some conferences. So generally 2 times or 1 or 2 times you can publish, or you can present one research paper, and then go for whatever the changes you see, you get from the listeners or readers. Then you can incorporate all these changes in your research paper and then go for publication. It will help you. तो हमेशा मैं कहता हूं कि पहले आप प्रेजेंट करिए, उसके बाद आपके जो व्यू पॉइंट्स है वो लीजिए, और फिर आप पब्लिकेशन कराइए. तो अगर पब्लिकेशन आप 1 बार या 2 बार करते हैं तो आपको सही रहेगा. Publishing paper in conferences, yes. Following points must be taken into consideration. Yes. Conference theme is very important part. Organization association is very very important. ISSN number है या नहीं है, proceeding हो रही है नहीं हो रही है. और आजकल मैं आपको एक चीज बताऊं, आजकल there are many conferences where call for papers is there. There are many conferences where they say that if your paper is accepted for presentation, then we may refer your paper for publication also in good journals. Like they write Sage journals or Elsevier or Emerald. So you can use these opportunities. So definitely you can send your research paper for those conferences where you get an opportunity to publish your research paper also. List of journals where presented papers can be published, they generally used to give. And they also write the indexing that it is a ABDC journal hai, ya Scopus hai, ya Scopus nahi hai. They write all these things. Friends, this is another important conference alerts. Yes, conference alert जरूर यूज करिए आप. जब भी आपको मौका मिल रहा है, जैसे कि ये आपके इसमें होना चाहिए, मेल इसमें आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए, जिससे आपको कॉन्फ्रेंस अलर्ट के बारे में पता चलता रहे कौन सी कॉन्फ्रेंस कहाँ हो रही है, तो कौन से इवेंट हो रहे हैं, अक्टूबर में कौन सी है, जून में कौन सी है, नवंबर में कौन सी है, या अगले साल कौन सी है. तो इससे फायदा रहेगा आपको, वो पता चलता रहेगा किस किस एरिया में कॉन्फ्रेंसेस हो रही हैं. Friends, this is the first thing I want to say, that I think many of you knows what is EasyChair, but if you don't know, so please you should know what is EasyChair account. EasyChair account is a account which is used for submitting a paper for conferences, maybe used for your presentation of research papers also. So it was started in 2012, then slowly now it's got a recognition. Even many conferences use this platform to do their conferences. So I straight we go to the site. You just go to Google, write EasyChair account. First, you create account, and then when you submit a abstract for a conference, definitely you have to write all the informations: your name, your co-author's name, your affiliation, your address, your keywords. And with the help of this, what is the use of this? This is very, very important, because when you send for your paper for presentation, then you get all the news and all the things from the conferences. कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है आपको, कोई भी इंस्ट्रक्शन मिल रही है, या कोई भी आपको बताना चाहते हैं कि प्रेजेंट आपका एक्सेप्ट हो गया है या कोई गलती है, तो यू विल गेट इट फ्रॉम द EasyChair account. So you just log into EasyChair account and you will find everything in your EasyChair account. कि whether my paper is in which stage, first stage में है या अभी publish हो गया है, accept हो गया है, या revision में है, या moderate revision है, या major revision है, तो everything. और सबसे important चीज ये होती है कि अगर आपको कल को याद नहीं रहेगा या डाटा नहीं है आपके पास कि मैंने कहाँ का पेपर प्रेजेंट किया है, तो अपने जितने भी EasyChair account में अगर आपने 2015 में भी पेपर प्रेजेंट किया है और accept हो गया और everything is there, still the record is there. तो EasyChair अकाउंट तो जरूर होना चाहिए जिसमें आपका रिकॉर्ड रहता है. तो आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीबडी दैट प्लीज ओपन योर EasyChair अकाउंट. EasyChair अकाउंट से आपको बहुत फायदा रहेगा. सम ऑफ द प्रोमिनेंट कॉन्फ्रेंसेज होती हैं मेरे ख्याल से, इसमें आपका इसमें ये एक अच्छी कॉन्फ्रेंसेज है. वर्ल्ड फाइनेंस कॉन्फ्रेंस है, यूरोपियन यूनियन फाइनेंस कॉन्फ्रेंस, इंदिरा गांधी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट रिसर्च, मैनी सेंट्रल स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज इन इंडिया, IIFT, IEM, IIT, and many more. So these are the conferences which take the route of EasyChair account. Then you have just a minute. I think Dr. will talk about what is ABDC, but I will take 1 minute. ABDC stands for Australian Business Dean Council. It is a ABDC list. They generally come out with a list every year. The A star is the topmost, 7.41% of the papers they publish. Then A, then B, and then C. So generally, Scopus also come out with the list. Scopus is something different, and ABDC is something different. So generally, nowadays people feel that my paper, if it is published in C, is top. B is also good. C, A, and A star. So definitely, nowadays, readers or the researchers generally focus on ABDC list. Then yes, what are the grounds for rejection? The first major ground is poor quality research work. Friends, if your research is not of good quality, definitely your paper got rejected. Poor theoretical framework. I've already said that if you don't make a good theory, again your paper will get rejected. Article not matching with aim. If the aim is OB or accounting or any other area, so if your article or research paper is not matching with general aim, definitely you're not able to publish it. Journalistic, not a researcher approach. It basically means that you should not write as a journalistic person. It's not that you take from the newspaper and just copy it here and that. No. You are writing research paper, so you have to share your own ideas or viewpoints. Straight thesis chapter. Yes, this is very, very important part. I have seen that many a time people do PhD and MPhil, and they straight take the chapter from the MPhil and PhD and send for publication or journals. That is very, very wrong, because you not make or you not convert your chapter into research paper, and that is very, very important thing. अगर आपने चैप्टर 4 लिखा है या 3 लिखा है तो प्लीज उसको कन्वर्ट कर दीजिए. आप देखिए अलाइनमेंट है, सेटिंग्स है, फॉन्ट साइज कितना है. तो प्लीज these all things are very, very, very important. Serious language and grammar problems. Yes. Serious language and grammar problems. Yes. There is no harm in saying this thing. 90% of the research papers have their flaws in the language and grammar. But nowadays, you get so many new tools, Mendeley, reference work, grammar. These are the new tools in Vivo. These are new tools which you use in making a good research papers, in making a good literature review. So why don't we use that thing? And even if you have a friend who is good in English, whose writing skill is very good, you can send that your paper to them. Give them 2 or 3 days कि सर या फ्रेंड एक बार तुम मेरा पूरा पेपर पढ़ ले यार, कोई ग्रामर प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है. आपको तो लग रहा है कि ये नॉर्मल चीजें मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, नॉर्मल नहीं है. अगर मैं इंडर साइंस की बात करूं, एमराल्ड की बात करूं, सेज की बात करूं, तो आप मानिए आपको जो टेस्ट रिजेक्शन होता है वो केवल इसलिए नहीं होता कि उसमें प्लेगरिज्म का पार्ट आता है कि आपका पेपर कॉपीड है. ऐसा नहीं है, हमेशा होता वो स्टेज पार भी होती है, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम आती है कि आपको जो लैंग्वेज है, दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. They see there are so many flaws in your language, and that is why they reject in the initial stage. They really don't write that thing. Sometimes they are not very blunt. Some journals are not very blunt कि they write कि आपकी कुछ लिख देते हैं, कुछ नहीं लिखते हैं. पर ये आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि आपको अपना पूरा पेपर एक बार चेक करना चाहिए भेजने से पहले. केवल पेपर लिखना बड़ी बात नहीं है, जो उसके पेरिफल्स हैं, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मैं ये बता देता हूँ यहाँ पे आज कि अफरील जी ने तो बता दिया आपको, पर मैं ये बता देता हूँ कि ये चीजें बड़ी जरूरी हैं कि जब आप पेपर बना रहे हैं तो बड़ा ध्यान से बनाएं उस पेपर को. अनएथिकल, यस, अगर आपको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है और आप कोई चीज छुपा रहे हैं, दैट इज अनएथिकल. प्लीज गिव एवरीथिंग इन राइटिंग. मैं आपको बताऊं, काफी बार आई हैव सीन दिस थिंग दैट मेनी टाइम्स मेनी रिसर्चर यूज्ड टू टेल मी, सर वी हैव सेंट दिस पेपर इन 3 journals, 4 journals. That is wrong. That is unethical. You are wasting your time also and other person time. आपको नहीं लगता कि आप जब पेपर भेज रहे हैं तो कितना टाइम लगाते होंगे? वो रिव्यूअर्स को भेजते होंगे, 2 रिव्यूअर्स को. मे बी द रिव्यूअर्स में चार्ज और मे नॉट, इट्स ओके, बट यू सी देयर वर्क आल्सो. हमें लगता है यार वहां भेज दें, यहाँ भेज दें, यहाँ भेज दें, ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं तो सब हो जाएगा. दैट इज रॉन्ग थिंकिंग. Whenever you write, whenever you send, please send to 1 journal only. If you got rejected in 1 journal, then you can go for another journal. पर ये नहीं कि आप एक ही जर्नल में लगे हुए हैं. लेंथ इनअप्रोप्रिएट, बिल्कुल सही. आप से अगर पूछा जाए कि आपका जर्नल का साइज 8000 वर्ड्स का है और आप 5000 भेज रहे हैं, वो गलत है. और 5000 है और आप 8000 भेज रहे हैं, वो भी गलत है. तो ये आपको फोकस करना पड़ेगा कि हाँ 5000 पूछा है तो 5500 6000 ठीक है, 8000 है तो 7.5 भी ठीक है, 8.5 भी ठीक है, 9 ठीक है मैक्सिमम. और बाकी यू कैन राइट ऑल्सो कि इसमें अपेंडिक्स है, इसमें हमारे साथ कुछ और भी चीजें, हमने डायग्राम्स हैं, टेबल्स हैं, कंटेंट्स हैं, फुटनोट्स हैं, तो आप देख लीजिए उसमें लिखा होता है. मैं अभी आऊंगा एक पॉइंट में कि मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट सबमिशन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. इफ यू डोंट हैव अ मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट सबमिशन, then you are not able to do good research. Don't do unnecessary and superficial research. That is the first thing. Don't just work on something because you like the topic. No, ऐसा नहीं. You have a conviction for that. You have full data with for that. Identify areas and focus reading literature. Yes, please. First you read. First you should identify research area your interest है. Read literature as much as you can. And this is very very important. Journals are profit-making entities. Yes. Nowadays you have seen that only those papers are published which are widely accepted by the researchers. You must remember that journals are for profit. Yes, many journals are not able to recover the cost if they don't publish a good research papers. आपको लगता है कि हमारा पेपर क्यों नहीं हुआ, पर अगर आपके एरिया में 5 पेपर आ गए तो उन 5 पे कंपटीशन हो गया ना, तो वो तो एक ही एक्सेप्ट करेंगे ना जो ज्यादा अच्छा होगा. हो सकता है पेपर आपका भी अच्छा होगा, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ. आई एम नॉट सेइंग योर पेपर इज नॉट गुड, पर अगर 5 पेपर आ गए और 5 ही टॉप के पेपर हैं, तो कंपटीशन उसी, अगर आपके 5 पेपर आईपीओस में ही हैं या कैपिटल मार्केट में ही हैं, तो देखेंगे इसमें कौन सी ऐसी नई चीज है जो उन्होंने डिस्कस की हो, बाकी ने नहीं की है. तो जिन्होंने बाकी नहीं की है सेकंड स्टेज थर्ड स्टेज में, उनको रोक लेंगे और आपका पेपर एक्सेप्ट कर देंगे. तो ये चीज बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. Think about why you want to publish research work. Yes, I say that is it new or interesting, or is it current hot topic? Have you provided solutions to some difficult problems? If you're ready, then you go for publication. Structure manuscripts, I always say title is the first thing, abstract, keywords, gel codes, introduction, literature review, objective and hypothesis, research methods, results, discussion and conclusion, references and acknowledgement. See, ये आपको लग रहा है कि these are all the points? No. If you want to add, you can add more points also in it. But this is what I feel that they are very, very important. That is why I have written here. If you make your manuscript or structure in this manner, definitely it will be widely accepted in many journals. And total manuscript size, average size, I generally take 5 to 700,000. If I have noticed that Sage, Emerald, Xavier, their size around moves from 5 to 7,000. The right order, yes, method and results, introduction, discussion, and title abstract. 6 things are very, very important. So how we start? The first is title. See, title is very, very important part.
Yes, sir.
It conveys the main topic of manuscript. So it should be specific and concise and avoid jargon, abbreviation, and acronyms. What is abstract? Abstract is very, very important part because abstract many times leads to a rejection and acceptance of research papers, frankly speaking. So please devote maximum times for abstract also, because abstract generally made as the last. But generally in one research paper, if you go for presentation also and publication, then you make abstract 3 or 4 times. 2 times for the presentation and maybe 1 or 2 times for publication, because definitely you will change the abstract when you get some revisions or observations from the people who are listening your work. Definitely you put some changes in your abstract. So it is a summary of the whole article without any reference or any ornamental words. Any sentences in abstract should not be repeated in the text. Yes. Generally, introduction should be 1 or 2 lines, methodology 2 to 3 lines, result 1 to 2 lines, and conclusion half to 1 line. Like this is one example I've taken, that it is generally argued that we can attribute the rise and fall of stock market to the flow of funds, investment by FIs. The Indian stock market is visited by 3 major players: FI, mutual fund, domestic investors. This article laid down the analytical framework for comparing the nature and role of only 3 for the 3 players. It uses a framework for empirically testing the impact of each player on the stock market. Through a set of Granger causality tests, it verifies the 3 hypotheses. So this is the way. So generally we ask, states the problem, okay, say why it is interesting problem, then yes, if it is there, say what your solutions achieves and what follows from your solution. So in the nutshell, abstract should include aims, objectives, main findings, and recommendation. If you have 4 things, definitely you have important. So aims, objective, main findings, and recommendations. Abstract क्या हुआ? The first thing I have said aims. So aim क्या हो गया इसमें? The purpose of this research paper to analyze and the management conflict of at this outline branch of communicate. This is the aims. Number 2, objectives क्या आपका? Objective is to identify key problems and other recommendations to management. This is your objective. Main findings क्या आपकी? Problem recorded in the organizational structure, financial style, lack of communication channels. This is your main findings. And recommendations, the reports recommend a major restriction of the branch. This is your recommendations. Next is the keywords. See, keywords are very, very important. For now, for keywords, you can use NVivo software, which is very, very effective. You can get a good keywords and it covers all your paper. So definitely when you write keywords, it covers whole your paper. I've already write NVivo software you should write. Then you have gel classification. I think the economics person in economics teachers know what is gel codes. This is very, very important in nowadays and definitely social science journals that you should write gel codes. If you don't write gel codes, definitely it's difficult. So in gel codes, you have A, B, C, D, Z. You have A to Z, you have codes. Suppose if you click on G, financial economics, then you find like this. If you suppose click on A, so general economics and teaching, A1, A2, A3. Then in A1 you have A10, A11, A12, A13, A14. Then A2, A20, A21, A22, A29, and A30, A31, 32, 33, 34. So these are subheadings. They are subtopics. So likewise in G financial economics, if you click, you will find subtopics. Like in my area, in IPOs, I go for G. So G11, G12, these are IPOs. And if I use any other issue with my IPOs, then definitely if I use economics part or management part, then I will go for M also. So G and M is a combination. If I use economic system, then I will go for G and P. If I use Q, then go for G and Q, to like this. So literature review is improve your understanding, number one. Why literature review? Because it helps to become an expert in the area. Maybe it is finance, maybe it is marketing, maybe it's HR, any area. So that is why I'm saying that please do the extensive literature review. You can do, if you do, you can build your expertise also, maybe in a specific field. For that, you have to read a lot. You have to read a lot of papers. Generally, many times the students used to come with me and ask me, sir, how many papers we should go for readings? 10, 15 minutes. No, for this, especially for fifth PhD, you should read around 70 to 80 papers. Even for writing one research paper also, good research paper, you should read around 20, 25 research papers, 30 research papers. It's dependent on the area also, which area you choose upon. Literature review also helps you to demonstrate your knowledge at the time of interview. So if you have PhD and MPhil interview or any lectureship interview or assistant professor interview, for there also, if you do MPhil or if you're doing MPhil and PhD, you can say, sir, yes, I'm doing MPhil PhD. So they can, if they can ask any question, so you can say, yes, sir, I have already done the literature review, extensive literature review. Then you'll be able to answer it. But I will tell you, many a times people are not do a good literature review. I tell you frankly. They just read 5 papers or 10 papers and they think that on basis of 10 or 15 papers, they will get the MPhil and PhD and write research papers. So I always say that please read good research papers. Don't stick with only conventional papers. Nowadays, I always say that please read some new research papers. Like generally when we write research papers, we write up to 2010, 12, 13. No. When you write research papers, please update your research paper till 2019 or 20 research paper, 2019 year तक लिखिए आप, या 2020 तक लिखिए आप पेपर जो आपने पढ़े हैं. अगर आप 15 तक लिख रहे हैं, मीन्स कि आपने 15 तक पेपर पढ़े हैं, आपने आखिरी के 5 साल के पेपर पढ़े ही नहीं है, वहीं आपका रिजेक्शन हो जाएगा. वो अलग बात है कि अगर आपका डाटा 17 तक लिया है और आपने पेपर पहले भेजा हुआ है, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट होल स्टोरी. पर अगर आप अभी भेज रहे हैं और आप केवल वहीं तक पढ़ रहे हैं, तो आई डोंट एग्री विद दैट. Literature review have 4 things: chronological order, number 1, advancement, number 2, weakness, strength, number 3, and geographical, number 4. So you can write a research paper like this in chronological order in year wise. Advancement is based on technology. Weakness, strength, write about the first you talk about the papers which have some weaknesses, and then you talk about the strength. Those papers talk about the weaknesses of research paper. You emphasis more on that, and then you go for strength, and then you make a literature review on the basis of country wise. I have seen when somebody have asked the question in the initial last lecture that, sir, how we can write literature review and how we can reduce. I say that please in PhD also you can use Excel sheet. If your supervisor is agreed with you, you can make an Excel sheet. Definitely it reduces certain percentage of plagiarism. So I always say that please write research paper with the help of your Excel sheet. It reduces the plagiarism part. Like this, it's up to you. You can make a paper name, authors, objective, research methodology, conclusion, and relevance. But here you can write research gaps also, variables also. 2-3 points you can add more, and then you go for literature review. Then you have results. When you get the results, it is very, very important that you write results in subheadings. Past tense is very, very important. Present the facts. That is very, very important. Don't tell the story here. Present the facts. Whatever the result you get from implementing the test, please write the facts here. And include results of statistical analysis. Yes. Whatever the statistical tool you have used, please write it. This is the editor's comment I'm sharing with you. The results shown in the figures and tables are not properly discussed. Yes. They say that they should relate and compare with the previous studies. Yes. Very, very important. Results के part में हमेशा कहता हूँ कि you please correlate. जो आपके पहले की studies है उससे correlate करिए. Especially on how using a different methodology given different results and what are the possible reasons as well influences of these different results. These are tables and figures. Yes, you can present your table and figure like this. Stock market indices and this table you can write like this. Discussion में always answer research question. Whatever the research question you ask initially in your paper, please give the answer for that. Compare result with others, describe the limitations, and mention possible implication. Nowadays, many journals want that what are the shortcomings of your research papers, what are the limitations of your research papers, and what are the implications of research papers. So definitely write this. Structure of research paper. See, in structure wise, I am always say that the structure should be of 4,000 words. In 4,000 words, you like introduction 15%, literature 25%, means 15% of 4,000 is 600 words, 25% of 4,000 is 1,000 words, then 1,000 words, then 1,000, and then 400. So generally, your research paper should be of 4,000 words if you use this methodology part. And time allocation, if I take 3 months, then at least 2 weeks you should give to introduction, 2 weeks to literature review. Nowadays, people are clubbed introduction literature review because due to decrease in word size, तो अगर आप 4,000 वर्ड में पेपर लिखना है 5,000 में, तो आप इंट्रोडक्शन लिटरेचर रिव्यू क्लब कर सकते हैं. मेथोडोलॉजी यू शुड यूज 1 वीक. तो मेथोडोलॉजी और रिजल्ट एनालिसिस, ये जो पार्ट है मेथोडोलॉजी के ऊपर और रिजल्ट एनालिसिस के ऊपर करीब 5 हफ्ते आप दे सकते हैं, करीब 5 वीक्स आई एम सेइंग. एंड कंक्लूजन रिकमेंडेशन टेक्स 1 वीक and totally around 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks, 2.5 months to 3 months, you can make your research papers. These are the references tools. You can use it here. These are the management tools like Zotero and Mendeley are free tools. I always believe in Mendeley. Mendeley is a good reference management tools, and I always say to my students and researchers that please try to operate how Mendeley we can operate, and it's a free software. Then subscription wise, you have reference manager, EndNotes, reference work and ProSite. And Mendeley की मैं इसमें बता सकता हूँ कि it's a free academic software. Generally, Ramanujan College and other colleges have already done a lot of webinars and FDP programs on software also, Mendeley and all these things. So you can attend this also in the future if they conduct. So this is another point which I share, friends. ORCID. ORCID is, maybe some of you have heard for the first time, but I think many of you knows what is ORCID. ORCID is provides a persistent digital identifier that distinguishes you from the other researcher, or in a very simple language, I can say it's an Aadhaar card of in the research profession, I can say. अगर आप रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो ये ORCID आपका आधार कार्ड है. जैसे आपका नॉर्मल आधार कार्ड है, तो अगर आपका आधार नंबर नहीं है तो आपको काफी जगह एंट्री नहीं मिलती है, आप कोई चीज कन्वर्ट ओपन नहीं कर पाते बैंक अकाउंट, ऑल दिस थिंग. तो उसी तरह से अगर ORCID नहीं हो तो पेपर नहीं भेज सकते. तो इफ यू डोंट हैव ORCID नंबर, देन इट इज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट नाउडेज to send research paper also, and even your paper will not be accepted provided if you don't have the ORCID number. तो मैं सबसे पहले ये कहूंगा कि आज के सेशन के बाद, खत्म होने के बाद, सबसे पहले आप सब लोग अपना ORCID नंबर खोलिए. मैं जहां भी जाता हूँ वेबिनार्स में या कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में, और जब बोलता हूँ तो ORCID के लिए जरूर बोलता हूँ. वो लोग सुन भी रहे हैं कि ORCID अगर खुला हुआ है तो वेरी वेरी गुड, अगर नहीं खुला तो ORCID आप प्लीज इसको, मैं कैसे बड़ा आसान बता देता हूँ क्यों बनाते हैं. सपोज मेरा नाम अमित कुमार सिंह है, तो आप अमित कुमार सिंह, आई थिंक इन द वर्ड बहुत सारे होंगे, AK सिंह भी होंगे, अमित कुमार भी होंगे, दिस एंड दैट. तो हाउ यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट ही इज द सेम अमित कुमार सिंह हु इज राइटिंग रिसर्च वर्क इन द एरिया ऑफ IPOs? तो for that, name ambiguity is a problem. Accents and other alternative characters, name changes. So for that, the first thing comes in. अगर आप साइट पे जाएंगे और सेट डालेंगे, आपका साइट खुल जाएगा. उसमें जाइए, रजिस्टरिंग बाय फिलिंग द बेसिक डिटेल्स, फर्स्ट नेम, लास्ट नेम, प्राइमरी, ये सारा. नंबर 2, एडिंग योर इंफॉर्मेशन. प्लीज अपलोड. यहाँ पे आपका पेपर अपलोड नहीं सकते, अपलोड इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकती है. यू कैन अपलोड योर इंफॉर्मेशन. यू कैन राइट अपलोड योर ओनली इंफॉर्मेशन रिसर्च पेपर्स कि कितने पेपर रिसर्च आपने लिखे हैं, क्या एजुकेशन आपकी, क्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, क्या फंडिंग है से पैसा मिला आपको, कौन से प्रोजेक्ट किए हुए हैं, कौन से वर्क लिखे हुए हैं. दिस इज योर स्टेज 2. एड योर वर्क. जितना वर्क ऐड करना चाहिए कर सकते हैं. मैंने कहा अपलोड नहीं होगा इसके अंदर. और उसके बाद आफ्टर दैट यू विल गेट द ORCID नंबर. ये ORCID नंबर मैंने एग्जांपल किया, 00 करीब 16, आई थिंक 16 लेटर्स का ये होता है ORCID नंबर. तो यू कैन ओपन द ORCID नंबर एंड डेफिनेटली इट इज वेरी वेरी यूजफुल. और जब भी आप पेपर भेजेंगे, इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यहाँ पे मैं 1 मिनट लूंगा क्योंकि स्कोपस वाला तो अविरल जी ने सारा कवर कर दिया है, तो मैं only 2 minutes or 5 minutes maximum I will take to wind up my lecture. A publisher, should be from a respectable publisher. That is always the stage one, I say. It's maybe a Springer, Elsevier, Sage. Then you go for whether this it is listed in database or not. Scopus या citation index में छपा हुआ नहीं छपा हुआ. Then impact factor. Then reading of journals. And then पर ये 4 स्टेज तभी पूरी कर सकते हैं जब आपको लगता है, आप आ सकते हैं 5th में, जब आपको लगता है कि आप ये 4 स्टेज पूरी कर चुके हैं, कि विच स्टेज ऑफ योर रिसर्च लाइफ यू आर. अगर आप न्यू हैं, इनिशियल स्टेज में हैं, तो प्लीज डोंट टारगेट एनी ऑफ दीज राइट नाउ. प्लीज फर्स्ट यू टारगेट योर रिसर्च वर्क, उसको इंप्रूव करिए, और फिर आप ये एल्सेवियर या लिस्टिंग डाटाबेस की, स्कोपस या फिर इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर की बात करिए. मेरी तो यही सजेशन है. मागी आपकी मर्जी है, because today this is a competition age, so people are basically moving in that direction कि जितने जल्दी हम पेपर पब्लिश कर सकें. You can assess your research papers from these 2 top databases, Social Science Research Network and JSTOR. DOI is Digital Object Identifier. ये भी जैसे मैंने कहा, जैसे आधार नंबर ऑफ योर्स इज योर ऑर्सिड एंड आधार नंबर ऑफ रिसर्च पेपर इज DOI, डिजिटल ऑब्जेक्ट आइडेंटिफायर. तो आप चाहें तो इससे आप कर सकते हैं. दिस इज इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर. आई थिंक वेरी सिंपल थिंग्स. अगर मैं ये स्लाइड दिखाऊं तो जल्दी समझ आएगा. अगर 2008 का हम निकालते हैं तो आपके जितने पेपर 2006 और 7 में आए हैं, सपोज नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स आर्टिकल पब्लिश इन 7 और वो कितने साइट में 8 के अंदर, तो 2 साल का मिनिमम 2 साल होना चाहिए एक इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर निकालने के लिए. और जितने भी वो आए हैं, जितने भी साइटेड हुए हैं 2 साल के अंदर, अगर वो 300 पेपर से सपोज 150 पेपर 2006 में छपे जर्नल्स में और 150 पेपर 2007 में छपे, तो 300 पेपर छप गए और टोटल साइटेशन इज 600. तो योर इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर इज 2 इज वेरी गुड. जनरली हम तो 1 से कम में भी देखते हैं, और सोशल साइंस के अंदर तो जनरली 4 और 5 is hardly, we generally see 6 or 7, but in science you will generally find 10 or 12. This is the sites where you can get the UCK list. UCK list: Jawaharlal Nehru, Maharaja Sayajirao Rao, Savitribai Phule University, and University of Hyderabad and Tejpur University. From these are the regions where you can assess, and you will get the latest UCK listed journals list. These are the journals, yes, which are UCK listed journals, and these are the very good journals. Indian Journal of Finance, Prabandhan, Ramanujan College journals. They have a very prestigious journal, and it's a very, very good journal. It's a journal which contain all the good research papers. And then we have Indian Journal of Marketing, then Pacific Business Review, Accounting and Finance, Annals of Finance. These are the list of social science journals where you can target upon. They are generally included in UCK. Some are in Scopus also. Some are in ABDC also. So these are a very good journal list. Then lastly, I say that your research will become superior if you able to answer these questions. Is the topic fit within the journals? Is title and abstract as per the content? Is introduction clear? Is analysis correct? Are all tables and figures important for the research paper? Is the research free from plagiarism? Is we are discussing presenting the heart of the paper or not? All references are correct or not? As we are able to read the implications. And please do away yourself from predatory journals. Any questions? Thank you so much.
Sir, there is a question. Can I ask?
Yes.
The question is, I want to perform a researcher on a field that that has not done by other researcher before. In this case, there will not get any related review and literature. Such type of researchers paper that written without review and literatures will be accepted to publish as researcher paper in the peer-reviewed journals.
I want to perform research on a field that has not done by other researchers before. In this case, they won't any get research review literature. Some of the research papers that are written without written reviews will be accepted to publish as research papers. See, it's up to you, but it depends that in which area you are doing the research, number one. In which area you are doing the research is number one. And I always say, if you are in the initial stage, so don't choose that area or topic where you don't have much material, much data, much research papers. If you don't have much research papers, data and material, then don't go for that area, I must say. Maybe sometimes you have seen that, okay, sometimes may happen, but if you start research work and if you're not able to access the data, if you're not able to access the research papers, so how you can publish it? तो मैं हमेशा ही कहता हूं कि आप वहां पे पब्लिश करिए, वहां पे रिसर्च करिए जहां पे आपका कुछ डाटा अवेलेबिलिटी है. Yes, next question.
Sir, there is another question that we should publish paper in open access journal or not.
Yes, you can. It's up to you. But they are Pankaj, they are paid journals.
Okay,
they
sir.
Are paid journals. They have a very high fees. That they should make this point कि उससे payment करनी पड़ती. Yes, next.
Okay, sir. Next question is this, sir. Direction for further research can be used to take up new research work with new set of sample and data.
Yes, yes. Good question. मैं हमेशा ही कहता हूं कि अगर आप जिस एरिया में काम कर रहे हैं और आपको लगता है कि सपोज एफडीए में काम कर रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली आपने पेपर लिखा 2015 लिखा, 3 साल हो गए, फिर 3 साल बाद नया डाटा आया. डेफिनेटली जब आप 18 तक डाटा लेंगे, डेफिनेटली आपका पेपर चेंज हो जाएगा. एक तो डाटा एक्सटेंशन हो गया आपका, पहली बात. देन यू कैन ऐड सम न्यू वेरिएबल्स आल्सो इन इट. Suppose in the first paper you take only 5 variables, why not you exceed your macroeconomic variables? You take 7 variables, you can take 8 variables, you can take 10 variables. So definitely you are incorporating some new things in your research papers.
Okay.
और जो आपने पहले पेपर किया उससे आपकी इंप्रूवमेंट हो जाएगी. And also use some new issues in it. Yes, Pankaj.
Okay. Sir, I think the question answer box is there is also one question. Oh, sorry, no. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now there is no question, sir.
Okay.
And Aanchal ma'am, you can take.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. I would like to invite here convener of our program, Dr. Kawaljeet Singh, to formally present you a vote of thanks. Sir.
Thank you, Madam Aanchal. I am very much thankful to Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, for accepting our invitation. Your valuable insights on today's topic, academic writing and paper publication, contributes a lot for the participants if they want to publish their paper in reputed journals. On behalf of the organizing team, I extend a very hearty thanks to Dr. Singh for gracing with important work and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Kawaljeet ji. Thank you so much for the invitation. And thank you to all of you, especially Principal Dr. S.P. Golalji, Dr. Kawaljeet, Dr. Rajiv, Mr. Pankaj, Achal, and of course, my friend Dr. Avilji is also listening me. Thank you, Avilji. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So one announcement for participants. Participants will be starting our valedictory session sharp at 1:30. Please join on time. The link for the same has already been sent to you. That's it for, from our side with respect to this session. Thank you, everyone.
Kawaljeet ji, can we leave?
Okay. Haji, sir.
Acha, Aviral ji, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aviral and Dr. A.K. Singh ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.